America's Third Party. Long live liberty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David John Sponheim, running for president in 2016. A nightly show. Tonight is Freedom Friday, as evinced by my wonderful flag-like tie. We are, of course, recording these shows 3 hours and sometimes longer, depending on how long the show goes, because it's important to know that, we are always available to watch. If you go to our YouTube site, youtube.com/AmericasThirdParty, or even AmericasThirdParty.com, you can always catch our shows from the previous night and all the other nights. All right, so the big story, there's a couple big stories. USA Today just announced that there is 5 companies earning 70% of all the revenue on the internet. The power of humongous monopolies is showing its ugly face. Nobody's talking about this as a monopoly problem, but except for me, of course. I'm the only presidential candidate that wants to bust up monopolies. But Amazon is screaming ahead of all the others. Alphabet Inc., which formerly Google is being changed to Alphabet Inc., run out of a website, abc.xyz, which is very interesting. They're so big that, they're light years ahead of eBay, which is small and potatoes. Facebook is another small one, and Liberty Interactive Corporation. So the internet really isn't what we think it is. It's not some big mecca for money. It is, however, an area where the government has spent a lot of money investing, and they've hidden all of their investments from the American people. There's shell corporations that DARPA runs, called In-Q-Tel, one of the shell corporations that bought up Google stock. Google also owns 50% of Facebook. They don't want you to know that. So they are literally running the social networks as a backbone of information gathering. And the truth of the matter is, these social networks are watching our every move, are making predictive programming analysis tools for retailers. People that want to buy advertising know exactly what you've been doing. It's Big Brother. And it's right there listening to everything you're doing. In fact, it could break into your system and watch your cameras. And what is our government doing about it? They've got a bigger plan. They actually want to control more of it. They want to actually monetize every little dollar that drips out of your pocket. YouTube, the big ventricle of videos for everybody, is now looking at YouTube Red. And they're rolling out the YouTube Red program, which is $9.99 a month for people to get access. And a lot of YouTubers, like us, have some of our videos knocked off because they claim because we play 8 seconds of something, it's a copyright violation. Which is, in and of itself, they're violating the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. I'm allowed to play up to 24 seconds of any song ever made. But they're cutting me off and then limiting access to my YouTube channel simply because they can. And nobody has the ability to even call them. You can't get through to Google. You can't even get through to Facebook. You can't get through to eBay. I mean, well, yeah, you can call eBay now. You can, especially if you have a disputation. But the fact is, buddy, we're being sold down the river. Our lives are being invaded. Our freedoms are being taken away. Even Barack Obama and George W. Bush implemented plans that will systematically remove all of our liberties, whatever we think we have. NDAA, the signing of NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, allows our government to claim any one of us as an enemy combatant without any proof, without even a trial, without any oversight. we're screwed. We need a political party that'll challenge these two parties that have put all these laws in place and systematically remove them. Now, George W. Bush passed a thing called Directive 51, which gives the president 6 months to justify martial law. I would never want that. I want 6 weeks to justify martial law to Congress. If I had to declare martial law for any reason, I'd say 6 weeks would be adequate. 6 months, you could pretty much put everybody in a prison camp and execute them before you even have to respond to Congress. I mean, it's absurd. And these laws are all in place now, and the American people are like, dum-de-dum-dum. Off we go on our merry way. Okay, so we're going to open up guest chat just to give you guys a chance to speak, because I want to hear your opinion, and we'll see how long that lasts, okay? I am not in the 1%. I'm in the 99%. I'm an average person, not even rich. Donald Trump is in the 1%. Hillary Clinton is in the 1%. Jeb Bush is in the 1%. Most people in life are playing the board game Monopoly, starting with no money and hoping to go around the board lots of times and gain a few $100s. Yeah, exactly. And all the while you're playing the game of Monopoly in your mind, there's a hidden tax. Not only the taxes you're paying in income tax, but there's a hidden tax. It's called inflation. And your money is worth less and less the more these monetary elitists at the Federal Reserve, who don't even answer to our government, the more they print up money, the less value your dollars are in your pocket. That's how it works. The more money they put in circulation, they water down the value of our money. Now you go to town and you want to buy a steak, $25 for a steak. Seriously, there's some serious, incredible price gouging going on, and the government isn't talking about it. The press isn't talking about it. Nobody's talking. We don't have a free press anymore. We've got the internet. Yeah, electronic money will allow the government to turn off people's access to money, like in riots. It could be helpful. Well, it's not. If you turn off money, say they said, for instance, that cash was no longer of any value, that you had to use a card, it had to be either debit or credit. You can imagine how that would turn our country upside down. That would like freak people out if their money was no longer valuable. That would be a global economic reset, wouldn't it? It could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I certainly hope that the people in charge would never do that. But if they said cash is no longer of any value, you can't use cash anywhere you go, you can imagine how freaked out our society would be. Instantly, you'd see people just trying to cash out their hundreds in their savings account or whatever. I mean, people put money away. It would be worthless. You can only imagine how that would freak everybody out. If they really wanted to screw the entire society over, they would just say, oh, this money is of no value. You have to use a debit card. See, that's where they're heading. That's where they're pushing us. They're all the new cards. Have you heard the new cards that they're issuing? These RFID cards that are being rolled out, starting with credit cards, and eventually every card, debit cards, will all have these RFID chips in them. They're trying to get us more accustomed to smaller chip-like cards. And they also want to be able to see us from distances, because they can read RFID chips from a distance. It could be a security breach. I don't think it's a security enhancement. I think it's a security breach. It's the boiling of the frog. McLean just said it. They want this. They slowly introduce it. Pretty soon they'll be telling us not only do we not have cash, we can't carry cards away. Maybe the cards will be deemed unsafe. Deemed unsafe, and then all of a sudden, everyone has to be chipped. If you want to go shopping, you have to have a chip in your hand. Sir? How old are you, sir? 90? Where have you been? I can only imagine how that's going to go down. I saw a 90-year-old today out at the Walgreens. And he was, I know. Bum organizer? What are you saying? Bum organizer. Yeah, he was 90 years old and he was like, it's amazing how, I don't know. The world's going by too fast. You could tell he couldn't even handle his experience very well. He was having a hard time understanding how to handle his debit card, and it took him at least, I'd say, 5 minutes to go through the register. And I wasn't in a hurry because I think it's kind of cool that a 90-year-old is out shopping. We need a miracle, I agree. And the miracle, and the only miracle that we're ever going to have, by the way, and miracles don't come on their own, the only miracle that I can think of is a third party to question and challenge these two parties and put the fear of non-election into their minds. The idea that somebody is going to beat them at their own game. These people think they can get away with anything. They can lie, cheat, and steal and remain Democrats and Republicans. They can even do insider trading at Congress. A big reveal was done about a year and a half, 2 years ago. 60 Minutes revealed that Congress can literally take money or actually make deals, stock deals, without any oversight. Justin Trudeau could be a miracle for Canada. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, though. I mean, he's saying the right things. Hopefully it'll continue helping him and Canada prosper. Wow. Thank you. Guest 514 just said a beautiful thing. He said, David, you are my hero. You are the light in my darkness. You are the joy in my sorrow. You bring to me what no one else can, the absolute feeling of happiness. You're the single most important person in my life. I wish you a life of longevity and prosperity. Good luck to you, young lad. I hope you can succeed in what you're doing, in whatever you're doing. Thank you. Thank you, guest 514. I think that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm going to write that in my log, my chat notes, which will be made public due to the Freedom of Information Act. All of this information will be. I'm just kidding. Now, that's kind of cool. That makes me feel good. Yeah. Because I am, no matter whether you agree with me at all on any subject I talk about, I am kind of bringing forth the important fact that we need a forum every night to talk about issues. We're not getting it from the two-party system. We've got the technology, and we're probably the only one out there really utilizing it to its fullest. Thank you, Sir Mike. You never lie, and you never write. You always write real stuff. That's good. Yeah. I'm dreaming of a white Russian. So you like drinking? You're like Kahlua and vodka and milk? Well, a lot of people succumb to their desires. You know, some people have a taste for something wonderful, like Kate Hudson here. She's having an indulgent moment with a sandwich. You gotta like that. I've been there. I've had a hamburger and I know the feeling. A lot of people are not eating beef because we're being led to believe that beef and beef byproducts, or I should say processed meat, is dangerous. The World Health Organization said that processed meat is contributing to cancer without really citing any studies. It occurred to me they don't want us to eat meat. Another shocking story came out this week about human DNA being in 18% of all hot dogs. I mean, who in the world is going to buy a hot dog? I saw a guy at the local market standing there looking at the hot dogs. I sensed his depression because he was like a pretty portly guy and he loved hot dogs. And I could see he was thinking, well, I don't want this. I can't trust the hot dogs are going to have human meat DNA in it. Genetically speaking, of course. Would you work for CIA? Free job? I'm not a person who ever wants to become compromised. I would have joined the CIA or government job or corporate job back when I was a young lad of 20, 30. I could have joined when I saw that sign at Occidental College when I went to the first day of, I actually did a kind of a tour of the college. I never went to Occidental, but I toured it, and I saw a huge sign in the beginning of the Career Center. As you open the door, you saw the CIA saying, if you speak Middle Eastern dialogues, Indonesian or Farsi, anything, any dialect, they want to hire. It said the CIA is hiring you. And that was 1 year before Barack Obama entered Occidental College as a student. So you can only imagine he must have seen that at the Career Center. Well, Ben Carson, he wants to keep the war going. I know, Walton. Isn't this weird? All the Republicans want to keep the war going, and all the Democrats do. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to actually get into this third party and say, yeah, forget that. We have an anti-war rally tomorrow, Saturday, where we try to get clear the minds of the logic here that people are using to start a war. ISIS is made up. Most of ISIS is mostly mercenaries that were paid under the table by secret organizations, probably connected to our government and the UK's government. All evidence points to that. You know those Toyotas that were obviously seen in a video a couple weeks ago from ISIS? Well, somebody did a search to Toyota to find out where all these brand new Toyotas that were military-style Toyotas came from, the pickups. And Toyota said that the State Department had a requisite order, a procurement order for Toyota pickups like those. So the State Department bought all those Toyotas that ISIS paraded around in. If that isn't damning and incriminating evidence, I don't know what is. And then this recent jet crash in Russia, I'm hesitant to believe it's even real. And I can't find the evidence. Lena Luna says people selling bum meat on New York streets. Really? What do you mean by bum meat? And my facts so far are pretty good. Well, ISIS used the Toyotas in that big, huge propaganda video we saw 2 weeks ago. But more importantly, the Russian crash that recently happened, Egypt doesn't even believe it's a terrorist act. And it's contrary to popular belief, like Obama thinks it's a terrorist act. Putin doesn't even believe it's a terrorist act. A reporter has spilled the beans? What's happening? Admits all news in mainstream media is fake. Oh, this is good, yeah. Can you get me a time at which his statement is most pertinent? Because I saw him speak about his role as a reporter. But if you have any clip in there, like a time that you want me to show, that would be helpful. Obama is going to veto the Keystone Pipeline every time because he wants the Democrats to believe that they're somehow worried about the environment. It's a mindless thing when in fact, if the Keystone Pipeline goes forward, it will help the environment. If the Keystone Pipeline does not go forward, China is going to be siphoning all that oil out of Canada and putting it in the ocean. And big tankers are going to potentially risk the environment. Now, we have a beautiful Atlantic Ocean that's protected. I don't want to violate it. We have a beautiful Pacific rim up in Alaska that's still fairly healthy. But the Pacific Ocean is a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. And an extinction level event occurred 4 years ago at Fukushima, and nobody in government is talking about it except, obviously, me, and I'm not in government. I don't have a problem with homeless people using Wi-Fi hotspots. I think it's great. I'm all for Wi-Fi hotspots. I think it's the way we're going to stop the government takeover of our future. They're trying to buy up the backbone of the internet. The government's already working through channels like Google, like I told you. Pretty soon Google is going to be vying for a utility access to compete with your cable company, and you're going to be offered really good deals on high-speed internet, blah, blah, blah. Wi-Fi hotspots completely go against the grain. They offer people all kinds of connectivity without having to be known specifically where you are, without having to pay a fee. People are very inclined to do that. The internet was designed to be a backbone to communications. In no way should we monetize it in a big way, and no way should we turn it into a censored media like the network TV is right now. Hey, we got a guy named Ed who comes into our show all the time. He has a Wi-Fi laptop. He picked up a laptop. Somebody gave him $350, and he got that and a bedroll. Well, yeah, man, it says, David, when you become president, they will kill you like Kennedy. I'm fully aware of what they would try to do. What they don't realize is they better do it soon, because once I reach a certain point, my protection will be so great, they won't be able to get to me. Yeah. So if they're going to get rid of me, they better do it soon, because I'm right at the perch of entering the mainstream media. And I don't want to die, but I've accepted the fate of running for president. I'm prepared to take a bullet for this country. Yeah. But I'm not, you're making a point. I get your point. It's dangerous what I'm doing. But if we don't have a person you can believe in who's honest, you're never going to get anywhere with this system. We're never going to see change. We're never going to see any good people in American government. And we're never going to get rid of the incredible corruption that is just steeped in corruption. There's a reform process going on. The reformers, election law group, which is trying to reform election law, there's a group called the Reformers that I just actually emailed a reporter at one of the sites talking about it. But old congressional members, legislators, and senators have gathered together to try to reform the process of election law. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. So I'm going to actually try to get into contact one of those people there and talk about how I believe that election law. Sarah actually came up with this idea, and I think she's right. I think election law violates equal protection under the law. State laws for federal elections are all different. When you go to our website, AmericasThirdParty.com, you can click on any state, and all the state laws are different for anyone to get on the ballot for U.S. Senate and the president. Everyone is different, which in my opinion violates equal protection under the law. It's clearly the same as same-sex marriage laws in any state authorizing marriage certificates now has been overturned by the Supreme Court because of equal protection under the law. Same should apply to election law. So I'm going to kind of carry that message forward and write a few letters and kind of raise a stink there, because we are seriously facing a huge conflict every time people want to get me on the ballot in their state. Some states won't release their petitions until January 1st of 2016. We're still waiting on many states just to get petitions to get me on the ballot. These Nuts was a CIA operation. They wanted to put a 15-year-old in front of you to make it seem like anybody can get in front of you, talking about becoming president. All of the media is controlled. If you don't realize that, then you're fooled. The whole media is under their control right now. The reason why Deez Nut was promoted is because they literally want to make you into a laughing stock. They know that you'll never promote anything on Twitter. It's just them laughing at you. It's just a CIA joke. Yeah. David, wasn't even Warren Buffett is behind Obama's not signing the Keystone Pipeline? Calling me clueless is not true. There's a lot of reasons why people are not asking Barack Obama not to sign the Keystone Pipeline. Regardless, it comes down to a simple fact. The Democrats are going to pretend like they're going to solve global climate change. By signing the Keystone Pipeline, they don't work well as climate reformers. They're trying to paint themselves out as climate reformers when they've never done anything for the climate. In fact, the Democrats are complicit in it. Deez Nuts was some guy on Twitter that if you don't follow Twitter, and so many don't, you wouldn't know what we're talking about. Thank you. You know, if you believe that Warren Buffett carries oil and, you're calling me names during the process, that's fine. The rail lines carry oil, yes. Keystone Pipeline would definitely affect their business, yes, blah, blah, blah. That's why there's a big rift in the whole thing. But it really comes down to the Democrats wanting to be foreseen as people concerned about oil spills. Yeah, it's that simple, really. You're making more than it is. If those people are hoodwinking people like Warren Buffett on that issue, then that's how they're siphoning money out of people like him. But it really comes down to just having to frame the Democratic views. I saw this happening during the 2007 period, and that's why I left the Democratic Party. They were trying to frame everything to control the minds of the voting populace. much like the Republicans did with the earlier compassionate conservative movement. Pipeline, you're not going to be able to run drugs through an oil pipeline. They'd smell like oil. Well, online voting has a lot of linchpins in the whole process. We can't even get the Diebold voting system to be 100% safe. Yep, we could do online polling, but I don't even think polling results should be allowed the day of the election. In most states, actually, we're seeing polling results affect elections. But around the world, they never allow polling results in countries that are trying to have democratic elections. Anyone stealing signs would be arrested and it would be a felony against them. I had 90% of my signs stolen. Our nation is corrupt. Our democracy is polluted and controlled. We don't have a democracy. That's absurd to think that we do. I don't trust electronic. I don't trust the Diebold system. I want paper trails as well. I've been convinced of that because of all the cheating that's going on the internet. Well, look, if you believe online voting could be 100% safe, then I'm sure there's a credit card company that would probably want to hire you. And then they'll find out they're getting stolen, from. I don't think that the credit cards themselves are 100% secure. How would I possibly believe that online voting could be 100% secure? But I will go along with a mock online voting period. Absolutely. I think that's a great polling process that we could integrate into a whitehouse.gov on a daily basis. Online polling, we'll start with that. I'm not opposed to it. I just want to make sure all the safeguards are in place so that people are not freaking out about lack of paper trail. Because right now we are not happy with what we have in terms of the counting system and the voting system that we are currently using. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with a lot of things. Here's a picture of the Blue Angels flying at low altitude in front of a large group of people. And this is after they lost a plane. They're still flying like this. Look at this. Yeah, it's like, 30 feet above the population area? It's just reckless. And you may think it's America. And I definitely think our planes should need practice time. But I don't believe they should be flying like that over a populated area. Not when they crashed a Blue Angel plane and already had a few deaths. It's just wrong. Let's start a win for the polls. I'm Stanley Schultz. I've never seen a guest come in the room announcing that he's Stanley Schultz. And what do you mean by a win for the polls? Exactly. Elaborate on that, 773. Whatever it looked like, it was a Blue Angel. It looked like a MiG because those F-15s are painted blue. Yeah, get an account. But nice to meet you, Stanley. Thanks, Monkey Balzer. Where do I stand? I'm not even on the radar in the polls, percentage-wise. I have not had any mainstream media coverage. No issues have been discussed with me at all by any paper. I tried to do a 1-hour interview with the Daily Bruin at UCLA, and they wouldn't take the interview. They decided to throw it in the garbage. Somebody got to them. Every interview I've ever tried to do has been censored. The ones that I've done for Cairo TV have never been played. We've only had 12 seconds play out specifically to exploit me. The Rolling Stone was a separate article, and that was not an article about me or talking about the issues. It was just an article committing libel, in my opinion, calling me out as a fringe, bizarre candidate. That's libel. The reason why I believe it's libel is because, number one, if I'm a fringe candidate, I'm not in the public eye. That means that they're calling me bizarre without substantiating it. Thank you. Well, you need to help me get in the White House. You need to get to our website, America's Third Party, and go to your state, and then call the phone number at the top of the screen, the Secretary of State phone number, or email her or him, and simply say, how do I get a petition to get a presidential candidate on the ballot? That's all you have to do. And then they'll take it from there. That's their job. You know, I don't know if I'm going to sue anybody right now. I'm still debating the whole thing. I'm trying to piece it all together, because right now I don't understand how a society can be this unintelligent that they would run around calling people names as opposed to discussing issues. And we've had so many years of Republicans and Democrats doing this that it's disturbing beyond all belief as to why they do this. But they've been getting away with it, and it's getting worse and worse. Of course, I'm not bizarre. I've got a very solid approach to everything, including politics. I've always been a level-headed person, and it's ironic that they're trying to, use the court of public opinion to vilify me ahead of time, before I even get a chance to talk to the people of this country about the issues. It's amazing. I attended a couple Democratic meetings ever, yes, I did, and they always told me to shut up. And they even told me that no one would ever vote for me. And I knew then that I wasn't in the right party. They're certainly not Democratic at their meetings. Well, I've used name calling. I have. I have always tried to keep the names defined to simple names like idiot. I try to focus on simple names. Elaborate name calling like truther and birther, that takes some serious warped views to shut people down, calling them out on what they believe in. It's like calling a person who believes in God a religious freak. Now, she'll be in a little later, yeah. Florida, thank you, Abnormal. I appreciate that. A bit high, really? Well, my IQ is more in the area of spatial reasoning. I spent a lot of time designing things in my mind, believe it or not. And I'm starting to work on the actual development of those things in the real world. It's been a task to kind of come up with ways in which I can assemble things quickly. And I put up ideas in our show, which are concept ideas that could very well be turned into quick assembly solutions for, like, water, for instance. Our ocean pipeline project, which involves module productions that are plug and play. Module productions that can literally link modules together, mass produce these things, stack them and deliver them to a site, and then hook them up and then see water magically created using evaporation only. This is a 6-month project. I can produce a lot of these in a long chain. In 6 months, we can have it up and running. We're talking a couple 100-mile chain of modules linked together. Across the California coastline, it would be a kind of a solution to the long-term crisis of dehydration and drought that they're facing. See, the Democrats don't have any of these new ideas. The blueprints are simple. Actually, I can do this with a plastic tarp. I've even done it on camera. I've got a YouTube video where I tested out the seawater pipeline initially, and it turned out to have a 2-gallon production of water, fresh water per day. So I made some modifications, and I'm able to get more evaporation in my new module system that I'm developing. I'm using a variety of techniques to get increased evaporation. Now remember, distilleries that create distilled water use oil to boil the water. I'm using strict evaporation to get as much evaporation of the water in the middle of that module to land on the inside of the dome and drop into those freshwater reservoirs so that we can ultimately create potable drinking water. But all of this will prevent mold growth, and algae growth can be prevented with a small amount of chlorine if necessary. Absolutely. We could also use another technology, ionic and ozone technologies, which converge to prevent microbial growth and algae growth. And using electric current through the water will actually trap chemicals in one section and algae from forming and bacteria from forming. It makes a lot of sense, yeah. I use something similar right now, a cationic converter to keep algae in. Even ultraviolet light can be used to decontaminate and disinfect the water. UV light works too. A lot of solutions will be made out of people that find the necessity to come up with inventions. But if you don't see the purpose of having fresh water in California while it's dehydrating, then clearly I'm talking to the wrong person. No, I'm not a right-wing person. No, I was, like I said, a Democrat for 30 years. Guess 486. And I was more of a blue dog Democrat. I align myself with fiscal conservatives, but not social conservatives. So I'm right in the center of the political spectrum. I'm pro-gun rights. I'm not in favor of gun control. Yeah. Well, yeah, Jay Leno, Ted Cruz, whatever. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I can tell you today, Ben Carson had to admit that he lied in his autobiography. Storage of water is essential. I have a bigger plan, which I'm putting together as a business plan, where it actually delivers, for $20,000, we set up an array that'll provide enough fresh water for a house, for instance. And obviously, we could do something like this. Involves a windmill, 3 200-watt solar panels, and 12 modules, all connected. And we can create enough water for your home. If you've got a couple acres of land that's got plenty of sunshine, we could probably do that. I'm not selling the system, though. Good night, Sunstar. I'm trying to, price it out for the future, for our country. How am I different from the left? Well, I don't want to make anything mandatory. I want to seek a flat tax and a fair tax, which the left does not want to do. I want to get rid of tax credits and deductions, which the left does not want to do. I want to make it so the corporations don't rule our country, which the left doesn't want to do. Ben Carson apparently admitted he lied about receiving a scholarship to go to the military academy. And Donald Trump is calling him out on it. Other people are calling him out on it. He wrote that he got a scholarship to go there, and he didn't. Yeah. And there's a lot of issues about Marco Rubio and his misuse of a credit card the Republicans gave him. Yeah, the fair tax is a good idea. I want what I call a graduated flat tax of 10% on any income over $100,000. And this would affect even nonprofit companies as well as churches. I believe that you can make enough money within a $100,000 budget. A church can function. I believe that. I believe that you individually could get $100,000 tax-free, and it would help the economy. I believe that if we impose less of a tax, we'll be able to, stretch out a lot of our income so that we can help absorb a new growth process, which is necessary for our economy to grow. You can't just fuel growth by pretending like we're going to print up more money and give it to everybody. It's not going to necessarily fix the growth problem. So cutting taxes is definitely a big part of it. So let's bring those in. Frankly, I don't want to tax the individual unless they make over $100,000, period. That's how the flat tax, my graduated flat tax would work. We can't just not tax individuals who make over $100,000 because a lot of people are profiting left and right from our system. I get emails. I got an email today from the broadcast organization. I'm not going to name which one. But they claim that there's a $50 billion in revenue from claiming copyright control over something online. They're urging people to go out and try to control a few jingles and buy up a few jingles so they can sue everybody for copyright revenue from large companies like Google. And it's like, wow, What a bunch of vipers and bottom dwellers. I just can't believe these people. They're just trying to profit everywhere. Even Google, Larry Page, his abc.xyz, he wanted to buy up all the domains, .whatever. His original goal was to buy every single domain registered area and own them all. .xyz is one he bought. He wants to keep profiting. Everyone wants to profit from everything in the world, and it's just sucking the nation dry of any capital. Bernie Sanders obviously sees the light. He's throwing his support to me. Thank you. Thank you, Bernie. We'll keep the party rolling, but we're not a socialist group. We're a centrist. I know, you love it. Ben Carson made a mistake about a college. Rubio lost a credit card receipt. Hillary's email crimes that have significance at the highest level of national and international security are boring to the left, and even more on Trump doesn't even want to make a big issue of Benghazi. Thank you, 367. That's a good chat you contributed. Thank you. Well, Carson might as well get involved in witch doctory, you know. Maybe his creationism will carry him to the next level. He could become a faith healer for brains. Maybe he could become a charismatic brain surgeon / faith healer and Rolfer. I mean, who knows? This guy's all over the place. I don't know. Obama does not have the brains. His speechwriters do, Arcadia. I know a lot of you still believe that Obama wrote all those speeches, but he never wrote anything. Except, I think he wrote his Denver, Colorado acceptance speech for the Democratic nomination. And it landed flat like a pancake. Nobody thought it was inspiring. Hello.
Hello.
We were talking about the infrastructure bank tonight and our flat tax and third party and all this good stuff.
Fantastic.
Sarah's here. Great. I wanted to put the vortex in the middle. It implies the artificial manipulation of the atmosphere. What I call global climate modification. Something's going on in the center of this to create this. I want everyone to know that this is indicative of that. Okay. You may not believe that this is happening, but we spent a lot of time talking about it with a lot of people that believe and know that it's happening. And it's been happening for a long time. No reparations. I don't support the reparations movement. Sorry. So yeah, we support an infrastructure bank offering 2% loans to U.S. businesses, hiring U.S. citizens at a living wage. We're sidestepping the problem the Democrats, Republicans have had over the minimum wage laws being changed, and we're going to make it possible for people to actually, encourage jobs, American products, and salaries at $15 an hour. It's a better solution, I think, in the long run. Now we're going to interrupt the modification process with a third party and bring clarity to this whole process here. Okay, I'm going to change the color on this one to white. There we go. And this one to white as well. Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about a kind of a graduated flat tax, like David wrote below, a flat tax on over $100,000.
Yeah, the fair tax is on non-food items. We're trying to keep, we don't want the government to stall. And the math works in this area. If I were to get rid of all income taxes in my plan, we would need Congress's support. Congressional support is required either way. We can certainly talk about it. I'm not against it. Benghazi is not a distraction. What happened in Benghazi is a clear chain of evidence of incompetence, all directed at Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
By saying it's illegal for 8-6 would imply that it was once legal, which some people have done research and say it's not currently legal.
Yeah.
The thing is that you can commit perjury by actually filing
she has deflected answers. She has not answered certain things about any issues. She has actually deflected all of those. She does a thing called stonewalling and fogging and steamrolling. It's a technique that she's learned by repeating the same thing over and over again. They asked her, why did you search for mind control? And she didn't respond. She was asked why she was looking for ways to hide her emails. She didn't respond. So she really did not respond to key issues that would have implied, had she responded in a positive way, we would have been clear on these issues, but it implied that there's a deeper, more sinister plot to her agenda. I would love to agree with all of you that, and say, yeah, we'd love to reform the tax code in America, but we'd like to see a credible solution that will save people. Now, obviously, you don't like receiving an income tax because you must be making over $100,000. And if you're making over $100,000, you haven't made a donation to our party. I have to ask your intent here. You don't really care. All you want is just some free ride in life. If you're making over $100,000, 10% is nominal. Right now, you're paying probably 34%. I'd like to agree it's unconstitutional, but I'd like to get a reckoning here with the people that believe in the tax code and the people that don't. It's a compromise. Do you people know how to compromise? Or am I talking to a bunch of far right wingers and far left wingers here? I have a feeling I am. I'm immersed in far right and far left people.
Right.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
I'll be right back.
All right. I'm sorry. Slavery has been illegal for more than a century in our country. Therefore, reparations will not happen because no one is alive who was actually alive during the time when slavery was legal. I would consider paying reparations to an actual person who had been a slave, but not to their descendants. Nope, not going to happen. Now, I will say that what I do think can happen is encourage more community building in neighborhoods. And with that, I would have decent paying employments and have certain preferential employment of African Americans and minorities in neighborhoods that were decent paying jobs. No, I don't use Miracle Grow in my hair. I am considering cutting my hair. And the only way that slavery continues to be legal in America is in the prison system. I would like to continue Mrs. Obama's health food plan. I actually have some respect for her and think that she's gone in a correct direction. I know it's been very expensive for school districts to actually meet all of her requirements. So I might want to look at that issue a little bit closer and and make sure that it doesn't cause an undue burden on the school systems. But I do think that she's made a step in the right direction with that issue. One of the things that I kind of found odd is that she removed the option for juice drinks and only allows the students to choose milk. either chocolate non-fat or white milk that's low fat. And I'm not saying the fat content is, but before Michelle Obama put in her plan, there was the option for juices like apple juice. The kids could either get milk or juice, and I thought that was actually a pretty healthy choice. So, what is your question about affirmative action? I will say this as far as how I feel about affirmative action. I feel that affirmative action was needed at a certain point in time in our history, and I personally think that affirmative action causes a lot more strife in this day and age. And I personally believe it goes back to the idea that we should judge people on the content of their character, not on the color of their skin, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. Yeah, man. Yeah. High five. That I would say 4868 is not a bad plan. That's a possibility. For say low interest loans for African Americans that based on and create a fund, but they would have to apply for the funds.
I want to show you. Isn't this cool?
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's a dry erase.
Wow.
It's for your classroom.
Awesome, thank you.
$2.
Whoa.
So whenever you're in a class,
$2?
if you have to teach somebody, yeah.
Oh, I already know somebody who like that.
There's 2 more.
Wow.
If you want to go down and get it.
Wow.
Not a good
Maybe
deal.
Sunday.
Normally like $20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll be right back.
The way to stop wars, yeah, man, is just to not go and engage in them. That's true. You can't stop all wars everywhere in the world. For instance, what's happening with ISIS is kind of, in a way, an internal struggle in those countries. And us engaging in those struggles is kind of difficult. It's, when you're talking about basically a civil kind of conflict within a country, that doesn't really involve us. But I would work, if I were president, or vice president, I would work toward helping our own country first, pay Americans first, and work on America first and foremost, rather than sending our troops all around the world. Content of character does matter. Well, I think that a lot of things are changing, monkey times, especially what happened with the Supreme Court recently. So I think more people are realizing that marriage should be a religious issue and not a political issue. Exactly. Actually, no, they didn't say that everyone should have the right to marry. They said that if you're going to make a law and enforce a certain law, then you have to have that law apply to everyone equally. So, for instance, like 468 said, instead of making a law, and like other people were saying, if you're going to make a law that gives low interest loans, you really have to make that law for everyone. In a way, that's why I think, in a way, the whole issue of affirmative action could be found to be unconstitutional if someone were to take it to the Supreme Court, because it doesn't apply to everyone. It doesn't meet the requirements under the 14th Amendment.
Right.
Now, monkey time, some states that disagree with the gay marriage law simply no longer issue marriage licenses. It's no longer a legal issue in those states.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I want to put this back around
example
here.
of that.
Freedom Friday, everybody. That's what we're doing. Tonight's dedicated to freedom. Freedom to do whatever we want to do, as long as we don't hurt anybody. Criticizing my hair is really insane. Thank you. We do purge people whenever they come in here and criticize me. Thanks. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do think that it's very beneficial if the more adults that can help support children is a good thing. So if there are two or more adults in the child's life that can help support that child and give them the training and support they need, I think it's really good. So when people talk about a lot of single mothers, it's extremely difficult for a single parent of any kind, because it's just about having that extra support that's the most beneficial.
All right.
And I really encourage people who do separate but have children together to try to do it as amicably as they can.
Yes.
To take into factor the children and how that affects people. I'm not opposed to it, Batman Cat. I mean, I'm in a completely monogamous relationship and always will be, but as far as saying everyone has to be in a monogamous relationship, I don't think that should be a political issue.
Master Meatball, we're not trying to track the communist movement in Brasilia. We're not communist here, so I don't think the communists down there really affect our nation. We're not communists. I deplore communism. I deplore socialism. I believe that you cannot possibly take away property rights or ask the working class to pay for the non-working class. It's ridiculous. It's wrong. For government to get bigger, it needs to get smaller, but more effective. So I've got a big difference with a lot of the left-wing opinions of the South American countries right now. Hey, a lot of the communists are being exploited just like the capitalist nations. What's happening is a global monetary like a grab. It's a monetary grab, a global monetary grab, and these rich people are trying to use the system to suck us all dry.
Yeah, man, yeah.
That's what they're doing. It doesn't matter how they do it. They're going to try to use the system and suck us all dry. Well, no, communism, the best example of people or populism is the family unit. Stamping the word communism on it has broken up the family unit. Look at the nuclear family in Russia. Families torn apart. Women in families are being forced into prostitution and sold as sex slaves here in the Western countries. It's not a family unit at all. Communist Russia is suffering. They really are. I think a lot of countries are moving toward the center. I think even China and Russia will eventually move toward a centrist ideology, economically speaking.
Donald Trump screaming, "Get out of my country!"
We don't do the left-wing propaganda too. We're not doing that. Do the left wing, do the right wing, do. Yeah. Well, the half-life of the radioactive nuclear family is I mean, I've seen my family break apart. I'm sure you've seen your family break apart. I don't need to, go into details to how the nuclear family is affecting all of us. But we're also looking for some meaning in life and future, and we need some bonding behavior among the people. And since they kind of groom us to be separate and collectively separate, we don't have that ability to reach out to each other anymore. We've lost it. So the American people are having a hard time reorganizing while we're being bombarded by a mainstream media that really just wants to rip us apart, keep us divided. So united we stand, divided we fall, and America is falling as a result of that. It's a sad thing. We need to unite. That's why we do the show every night. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me to come and do a 4-hour show dedicated to uniting the country, because that's the least I can do. That's the least I can do. The fact that I see all of this rolling out every night, the separation of our nation from opportunity, from growth, and the lies that the media professes every single day, I feel powerless, just like you do. That we cannot change what they're doing, and they continue to do it. They're never going to straighten out their act. They're going to lie, cheat, and steal to retain power. The two parties are all about power, not about people. Never were. You can look at their origins. Some of the greatest people that led those two parties, like Andrew Jackson, obviously supported, the growth of the Democratic Party. He's gone. They let a central bank take over. Everything Andrew Jackson stood for is not in any way part of the Democratic agenda. FDR's New Deal never shrunk. It just kept getting bigger and bigger, and now it's the old deal. And we're getting screwed by that old deal. The architecture of a massive government that refuses to get smaller. So the bow will break and a third party will be born out of this rubble we call politics. Well, Obama has never united at all. He's always fought the Republicans and fought everybody who tried, even within his own party, to try to get him to adhere to his mandate, and he couldn't do that. And now he's vainly trying to throw a bone at the left by releasing Guantanamo terrorists and safely integrating them into society. I mean, he can't do anything right. This guy does everything wrong. And I knew from the get-go that we couldn't pull Guantanamo down and release all the prisoners. And I even said so in 2008. I said, there's no way he's going to do that. And sure enough, he couldn't do it. I've been right all along. But whatever. You want to let them lead the show. It's going nowhere. Fast. I don't drink beer, no. If I did drink, I'd be a crap-faced in a short time, because I don't drink. I'm considered a lightweight. I would not get into social drinking beyond one beer. If we were at a gathering, I'd do one beer and that would be it. I wouldn't be, I love it, I love it. I know people who sit there and drink 4 or 5 beers and, say they love each other. I'm not one of them. Thank you. I like coffee, yeah. Coffee's good. So anyway, lots of new things to discuss. The big retail sector dominated by 5 companies. We talked about that tonight. The banter between Rubio, all these others. Climate change. Obama rejecting the construction of the Keystone XL oil pipeline, citing climate change, a political move, which some people believe is inspired by Warren Buffett, who somehow influenced Obama because he has a rail line. He wants to carry oil himself. That was an interesting perspective. One of our viewers thought that tonight, but I purged what they said because they called me names.
I'm not that itchy, it's just muscle aches.
Sarah, let me give you a background. I don't think Rachel Maddow is speaking for the American people anymore. I think that these paid pundits, these 35 people you see on TV every day, they're old news. The dialogue isn't changing. Our media is dead. I feel like singing a song like "Bye Bye, Miss American Media, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee," whatever, you know. But I really feel like not only the music died, but the media died too. The day the media died, they were singing, "Be politically correct, never say anything." I'm rubbing a certain area of her body. Is it down, up? Right in there?
Yeah.
They were singing "Bye Bye Free Press."
And up a little bit more.
Censorship is everywhere and we're all mooted. Middle finger massage. No, I use all fingers. I use the press and push method. Did you go to the Swedish school of back rubbing? Well, I did, and we use a deeper Swedish method, penetrating deeper into the. And no, we didn't get into the rolfing.
Yeah, up a little higher.
And you must always do the masseuse with the smile on your face. Always stay happy. Then you can heal, and the laying under the hands, and then you can get into Ricky.
Oh man,
Ricky, don't lose that number.
that's real good.
You know, I'm working my shoulder, which is still kind of, you know, I'm nursing it because I had a dislocation when I was a young man. And the
I
recent
can sit on the other side.
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. Whoa! See how look at that. Ooh, it's not supposed to be out of focus. It's in fixed focus, and it's not. You know, I think we should hook up to 2 like captain chairs in here, with the deep fiber gravity boot setup where they do the rolling back massage. Wouldn't that be cool to have 2 gravity boot chairs in here, and sitting like. And we could be this could turn into an interactive political show in the future where we have 3-dimensional headsets and we could all reach out and touch each other.
New videos every day.
I don't need to, watch that, but thank you. If you guys want to learn how to massage, there's a great link in the show right now.
Learn how to massage you.
Well, that's fine. I just don't want to get aroused during the show.
What?
Well, watching people massage each other could arouse somebody. Again, no argument, just words you feel are insulting, which you think are words to silence. Soon you'll be the word embarrassed. I'm sure you're embarrassed in person.
I should do that.
367, who are you talking to? Me? Moi? You have the audacity. Yeah, see, I'm getting a little aroused. You're showing me bodies on the screen right now, and they're not nude, but they're next to nude. I saw a little pressing of a breast area where a woman's being. The erogenous zones? Okay. The person may as well, yeah. All right, I'd like to talk about a lot of things, but I can't. They're top secret. So I can't discuss a lot of issues tonight. I can only talk about things that are related to your life, jobs, improving the economy, helping the environment. But I can't talk about any top secret issues, okay?
This is like rocking the body back and forth.
I know.
Mine's
Thank
like
you.
Right?
It's in the neck area, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's like, it's like.
I can't mention Area 52, but I can openly talk about Area 51 tonight, if you don't mind. I can refer to the JFK assassination as somebody other than Lee Harvey Oswald was the perpetrator. Oh yeah, see that's way up in there, Sarah. She's got a seriously messed up neck. You need to lay down, I think, and take that. You know what I would do? Take the hot pack. Get 2 minutes in it's like a grain hot pack we have. We throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Put that right in the down pillow, and then put that behind your neck, and have that heat radiate the down pillow. That's what I would do. She's in a lot of pain. She really is. I think it's the stress of the week, when you work all this time. Did many of you work, or are all of you pretty much living at home with your mom? Did anyone work this week? Tell me how many hours you worked this week. Somebody wants to brag, feel free. Did any of you work 120 hours? If you include daytime, morning, and night, yeah. You collected your benefits, yeah. We had a person work 35 hours, and Monkey Times worked 40 hours this week. That's amazing.
I don't keep track.
Okay. And you collected benefits. Thanks for paying your taxes. Okay.
Here, I've got a new hairstyle.
That's a nice one. I like that. No, I'm just giving her a little neck massage. Oh, you were referring to the donut in the show saying moron to people who speak heresy to lunacy, not you. Okay, thank you, 367. You have not worked since Obama became president? I know. A lot of people in my sector, the merchant sector, decided to just give up. When the retail sector collapsed, and media won't tell you that the retail sector collapsed, but Sarah looks like your mom. That's funny. Yeah, I got something cute I want to show you guys. Hang on. I went to a...
You just filled out 32 job applications? You can't find a job? Have you been looking online as well?
I went to the... Walgreens was having yet another 90% off sale.
Instant vampire
and I could not
set.
I could not mess this up. This cost me 59 cents.
Wow.
I mean, the medallion alone you could sell on eBay for $1. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Think of some goth that'll buy that for $1 on eBay. Ship it for, an envelope. But yeah, 59 cents, and I got the teeth I need. I'm trying to get a really good pair of vampire teeth, because people say, David, your heritage from Transylvania and all. Yeah. I thought it would be a good use of 59 cents. I thought it was a very good purchase, personally. It was normally $5.99. I was proud of my purchase, okay?
Yeah, which one is he? Yeah, exactly. Right, King. I'm proud of your purchase. Good job, David.
Well, I wanted a little
I really like that purchase over there.
Which one?
The $2.
Oh, I know. That was another one. I got her, something she could use if she's ever in a classroom. David, do you want to work the corner for me? I'm not a pimp. No.
Or you're not my pimp.
I got ripped off for 59 cents? Are you kidding me? That was a nice deal. I needed vampire teeth for the show. Now, you'll be surprised. I didn't buy
Here, I'll do that.
the Big Daddy Pimp kit that had like really messed up teeth and a big $ medallion. I didn't buy that. And weird glasses too. I saved a lot on that, and I of course purchased 2 half-gallons of milk for 50 cents a piece, and I froze them.
Oh.
You can freeze 0% non-fat. It freezes pretty well. It doesn't separate too much, and you can pop that whenever you need it into the refrigerator. Or if you got a cooler and you got a bug-out bag, you can get by 1/2 gallon out of a freezer. Could survive about 4 days. You could live off that.
Not in our area, our immediate area, Dry King.
Yes, my pre-Fukushima fish supply is still holding up. I have tuna dating back to 1990s, actually. I have tuna from the early albacore days when the waters were pristine prior to the radiation and the oil slick. In the early days of toxicity, it's going to become like, you'll be connoisseur cans of tuna eventually. Yes, this is from the era of the 80s. Amazing tuna. I remember when the Exxon Valdez affected all the Alaskan salmon. The pink salmon was affected during that time period, yeah. Okay. Tuna macaroni casserole is good. Dave, could you use a new shirt or 7? Yeah, if you've got 16.5 to 18.
I haven't tried that.
34, 35, yeah. But they need to be white. I only like white shirts. I mean, I can do 16.5 to 18 in the collar and 34, 35 on the length. Dave, you're going to put those lead-based Chinese plastic vampire teeth in your mouth? Yeah, it's just a joke. I will sanitize it with a layer of Vaseline, though, to protect my body part, my oral body part. Well, no, I only like white shirts, not I only like white. You took my words out of context. Please record that for the purpose of perpetuity. That'll be checked against the record. That is not appropriate, Rodney. We told you about that problem that you have of being negative. That is exactly what I need, Sarah. You're doing, this is like the best thing you can do, and a little bit higher up in with your thumbs, up in the, like right up in here.
In that area.
No, the thumb's right up in here,
at.
right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You see, that's incredible. Wow. I had a dislocation when I was 18. I was skinny dipping at a party in Hollywood, and this is before video cameras and people with cell phones. And I took a dive into a pool, and I was so incredibly relaxed that I pulled my arm out of socket, diving 9 feet into underwater. It's like, dude, why did you use all your muscles to pull your arm out of its socket? I literally felt it popping out. And ever since then, I've had a little bit of arthritic pain. And when we were swatted about 9 weeks ago, the officers were very gentle when they picked me up with my hands strapped behind my back, cuffed.
I'm following the massage video.
But they didn't realize that with your hands strapped behind your back, cuffed, it inevitably hurts the ball joint of your socket. So if we require orthoscopic surgery, I'm sure somebody will get a bill. But I'll be okay. Yeah, I got swatted about 9 weeks ago here. You didn't hear about it? I don't try to exploit it, but you're doing really well, actually. Thank you. This is a tip for all of you guys who have women in your life, or women who have other women in your life, or guys who have guys in your life, I guess. Take a look at this massage technique that she's using on the screen.
I'm trying to use it. I'm on the wrong side of you.
Yeah, just play the video for your lover. I don't know. This is why I said it was a little bit risque, this thing. There's nothing showing here. Yeah. Well, this has been great. The only thing we haven't had is climax. So I think we need to do something other than what we're doing, because this is not working. I think we need to do something different. Maybe even play some music or possibly a video. This candid picture was taken from me. Now, I haven't aged very well. This was taken back in 1956. And as you can see, I had, at that time, old-fashioned values. So tune into America's Third Party tonight. And I haven't changed much since those days. The good old days of, Jack LaLanne and Mr. Rogers. Remember Mr. Rogers in the 60s? What a great guy. Oh, this would be kind of fun. Let's do the White House background. Okay, now in the White House, there will be cameras everywhere, so if anybody's behind me massaging me, they'll be seen from all angles. We'll have a sense-around 3D camera that you'll be able to control yourself. So when you want to look around the White House and see if anyone's behind there, the desk or whatever.
Only after he serves 2 terms, Potato Girl.
Thank you for spending time with me tonight. That's a very outrageous accusation. I'm going to purge that from the room. Now, I don't have any Rock Hudson anecdotes. I never had a relationship with Rock Hudson. I'm not gay. He merely looked at me when he was walking by me when he was 6 weeks before he died. That's all that happened. It's just him looking at me and giving me the kind of routine. And I didn't like it. I felt a little... It's like, number one, is that Rock Hudson? And number two, why is he looking at me like that? Well, then we realized later that he was gay and he had AIDS. Well, he was a handsome man, but toward the end there, he looked really decrepit. I think he was just looking at guys. A lot of those gay guys, they can't help to look at anybody who's eye candy for them. So
A little bit higher.
it's something to do with their fixation on beauty. Okay, it's getting stupid. The false flag is evolving. Pilot with 189 passengers dodged missile above Sharm el Sheikh. News at 11. So they're claiming a missile was fired at another plane. Is that coming? Is that coming down the pipeline? We're just marveling at all the false flags that are rolling out. Many people are wondering where the bodies are. We see no pictures
I want
of.
to do this one, reflexology for upper back pain. Let's look
Okay.
at that.
We're gonna.
Can you just
Yeah, go ahead.
look at this?
Yeah, I'm reading this. Thompson flight from London took evasive action after pilot spotted missile. Oh, and we're supposed to believe this? Okay. Holidaymakers were not told they had been just seconds from a disaster. A rocket attack on a UK tour jet. Pilot with 189 passengers dodged a missile above Sharm el Sheikh with just seconds to spare from disaster. This comes amid claims British jihadists discuss ISIS mole in Sharm el Sheikh moments after a Metrojet plane crash in Sinai, killing 224 on board. So the story just gets more and more involved. You know, the bigger the lie, the more people believe it. Do you consider yourself to be eye candy? No, I'm not. No, I'm an old man right now. I mean, gosh, are you kidding me? No, I'm 55 years old. When I was younger, let me show you a picture of me when I was 18, when Sarah was born. Okay. Whatever. I mean, maybe I'm the new 35, but thank you, Sarah, for coming in.
I'm gonna rub my feet.
Oh, you're doing a foot rub. Cool. She's learning while we're here. This is kind of cool. And this is a warm room, too, with the lights on and the computer running. Kind of nice. We're saving a little bit of money on heat, too. I'm not even running the fan over there. That's great. Pretty clear in here. Okay, this used to be Fun Friday, so I'm going to have to mix things up a little bit for you guys. I don't think the stuff on the screen is really helping you. We'll put that on the wall back here. Okay, there we go. Hello. Wow. I have to purge certain people in here. I vote all the time. I voted in the recent election. Hello, good morning, Governor Sponheim. Hello, 8619. Oh, Sarah's still here. Yeah, Drag King. Yeah, she's waiting for all of you to talk.
I'm playing a reflexology video.
You want to see what she's watching? Let's put that on the screen too, because that's kind of cute. This is what she's looking at. And she's rubbing.
What I'm doing.
She's rubbing her foot.
Except my feet aren't as cute. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Oh, you have cute feet. You know, I don't have a foot fetish, and it's not something that But I can understand why people want their feet rubbed. I've often gone by these people sitting in, waiting for business. When you drive by the mall, sometimes you walk through and you see people like Korean foot massage people, and they do this for like a half hour for feet. And have any of you ever had your feet massaged professionally? Apparently, people with that disposition can pay these people to do it at any mall in America. Yeah, it's called massage. Yes, that is correct, huh? Anyone who says something disparaging in this show will be purged. Now, there's some people that believe that our country is being run by London, the city of London, that they never relinquish control of our great nation. And on Freedom Friday, Fun Friday for all of you, we have a plan to actually separate from the English control of our nation. By building this infrastructure bank, we're actually creating a parallel bank to the Federal Reserve, and we'll be able to offer U.S. businesses 2% loans if they hire U.S. citizens at a living wage of $15 an hour. And the 10% flat tax is a a resolve that Congress can make that would separate us from the cronies and lobbyists that are being used by the powerful elitists around the world to control our legislation. So the nice thing about the flat tax, the secondary aspect, is it eliminates tax credits and deductions, which is the playground of lobbyists. They love to do little favors for people if they can get a tax deduction or tax credit for some corporate company from some legislator. So as much as you don't want to talk about politics, I'm dragging you through the fire here, talking about politics on a nightly basis. That is what I do. That is my program. I am here to talk about politics. I think I'm mesmerizing myself with this particular exercise I'm doing. You know, I've been showing people this picture of Kate Hudson eating this burger. I just think that's such a great picture, isn't it? That's just amazing. I think Sarah's watching something else. All right, so we will discuss freedom now, if this is okay with you, because that's what's on the topic tonight, on the docket. We want to talk about police brutality. And Enrique Iglesias is wonderful, yeah. I can't play any of his music, otherwise they'll kick me off YouTube. Take a look at this picture. This is what America stands for. You understand? Look at that. That could be seen as a dangerous thing, or an ominous thing, or a completely perverted thing. But it's a nice wall mural, don't you think? I don't know about the snake, though. It looks a little weird. Yeah, kind of freaky. All right, we're going to say goodbye to the Eagle Guard, but it's guarding our tradition of freedom, and I thank you for that, sir. Thank you for your service, Mr. Eagle Guard. See you later. We will continue to purge, and I'm using a technique known as ChatDar, in which I can detect anybody who is saying negative things about me during the show. This particular technique has been developed over years of psychic perception, if you will. I can even predict certain things about you that you don't even know about yourself. Like some of you didn't have a good bowel movement today. But I don't want to name who. No, she never said that, and that's not true. All right, any other questions? Let's move on. Up next on our docket is a discussion of the lies that are being fed to us on a nightly basis. And when I talk about lies, I'm talking about Sandy Hook. I'm talking about all these things that have happened that many people still believe were terrible, tragic events that should somehow support gun control. I argue these events probably didn't happen the way they said they were going to happen or did happen, and that they're simply being used as tools to promote gun control. Well, we've got incidences of like CNN crisis actors caught again for the fourth time. Oh, that's the Pete Santilli show, yeah.
The turn, the train started to shake. We were in the front seat, and this
there she is.
Red suitcase just came
there she
flying
is, yeah.
at me. Our train was actually on.
Okay, this is the same woman that was actually in a Sandy Hook event. Everything got blurry again. Look at that.
That's because I'm.
No, I don't know. There's something not happening in the color schedule. Is there an auto full dynamic range? Is that what's happening? I think that was it. I'm not sure. Okay, so, and then we go farther into the video. And there she is again. She appears again and again in almost every video. And Pete Santilli did a really good job of bringing this up. But this woman is a regular. She literally appears in all the videos that are brought up. She is an episode after episode of various crises events that happen. So these are telltale indications that they're lying to us. These emergence of crisis actors and all these, testimonial videos that the media plays us. You see that the media can define whatever they want to send us, and we're supposed to believe it. And the case of this recent shooting in Umpqua Community College in Oregon.
I can't believe this works so well.
Good, I'm so glad.
Reflexology.
They're really good, yeah. I'm glad you played this video. It's a tutorial. Be sure to play this video for everybody in your family so that all of you can be rubbing each other's feet tonight, and you'll all feel much better. Umpqua Community College in Oregon. It's true, isn't it?
Ooh, that's weird.
Okay. No, that's the same woman. I can show you specifics, but I'm not going to. Later tonight, we play a series of videos on false flags. And Sarah doesn't believe in false flags. I do. But it's your choice to decide whether this is really a false flag or not. If you sit through the video aspect of our show, you'll find a lot of information that'll just blow your mind. A lack of evidence is a telltale sign that we've been lied to. And like the Umpqua Community College, we only got 4 photographs to look at. That was it. There was the picture of the ambulances at the hospital. There was a picture of the people with cell phones. It literally took 4 pictures and ran it all over the media, and media's editors were zooming in and out of the same pictures over and over again. No one saw any dead bodies. Not one person heard the sound of gunshots until later a woman came up and said she heard gunshots from 1,100 feet away. Nobody around the event heard any gunshots. And everybody at the community college had their cell phone taken with all the video taken away. That's a little weird. Okay, we're going to play a little music now, folks. We're going to start what the new segment on our Freedom Friday show, our Fun Friday show, is Blur Out. Blur Out. It's kind of like tune in, drop out. Yeah. But blur out and listen to some music and try to enjoy your Friday, because you worked hard, a lot of you. Even you folks who've been collecting a check for disability. It wasn't easy working this whole week trying to figure out a way to continue to collect your check. So there you have it.
Or saving your money.
It's not easy to save money, that's for sure. 2, 3. Okay, we got a plan with our infrastructure bank. And this third party will deliver a solution-based economic approach which gets the government a return on investment, as opposed to what we have today where the government leeches your tax dollars and makes you into a slave, a consumer tax slave to the system. We support a tax reform of 10% on income over $100,000. That's a flat tax with no credits or deductions. And this is true with government, business, nonprofit, and even churches. Any church that makes over $100,000 will pay tax on it. And we also propose a 10% fair tax on non-food items. So if you buy a new yacht, the government makes a lot of money. Okay, we're going to replay something. See, I can have fun on a Friday night. That was great. She gave herself a massage. I didn't do anything. She says, "Oh, that was really good."
Okay, now I'm going to do my other foot.
Okay, she's going to do her other foot now. Maybe we should get a room somewhere here. Oh, here we are at the White House. Okay. Well, if you put a third party in the White House, you'll have transparency. And you'll have honesty. Sarah and I are both honest people trying to help our country out. We're not corporate pigs like all the other ones in the two-party system. We're just average people like you trying to do the right thing to save our country. That's all we're doing, folks. And if you dislike our politics, then disagree with us. Participate. Get part of the political spectrum needs you. Okay, I gotta get this thing rolling.
Friday.
Well, this. There it is. Okay. Roll. Let's scroll, baby. Yeah.
You fucking mug!
I don't like that.
Oh, we don't like this part. Hang on, we have to stop
No,
this.
you can keep playing it.
That's okay. Sarah doesn't like that part, so good fight. Yeah.
That's okay.
I've never used the F word on the show. Yeah, see, it's kind of fading in and out, this auto camera. Yeah, I don't know what it is. What do you have there? Oh, here we go. We're going to get a little bit of some demonstrative dance activity from Ellen DeGeneres and Barack Obama. Look at that. I know what you're saying. You're saying,
You were my foot right now.
David, are you my foot? No. That was pretty funny. Thank you. Many people don't realize that I do look identical to Barack Obama in blackface. And I went out and I personally did a video to impersonate the president because I really believe that it had to be done. But in no way did Sarah endorse it. I personally did it because I needed to do it. This is that super bad music. I just stopped it straight up. Okay, thank you very much. We've played that music long enough. Now, we're going to do another 20 minutes until the top of the hour when we will play Can't Stop. Then we segue into our wild and crazy aspect of the show where we start talking about the real problems our country's facing, which you don't want to know. We've had, just to give you an example, we've had literally the thugs running our nation since John F. Kennedy had his head blown off.
I feel like we're short. Are we at the top of the screen?
Well, I sometimes do this. Is that better? Okay. No, I don't think Marshall Davis is his father, Ace. Barack Obama is most likely related to a cult leader named Mohammed Sabu, who was he was the cult leader in charge of Barack Obama's mom and relatives of the Obamas. And they've actually traced this cult leader in Indonesia to Barack Obama and his mom. So I'll show you a picture of the real father of Barack Obama, and it's not Frank Marshall Davis. That's a good question, though, because he had a very big impact on Obama, and Frank Marshall Davis was a communist, as you know. But the person we really should look at facially is Mohammed Sabu, the true father of Barack Obama. Yeah, I can tell I've got too much streaming on one side here. Sometimes when... Here it is. Breaking news.
Do you see anything odd here?
Yeah, just take a look there.
Think about it.
All right, that's Mohammed Sabu, and that's Barack Obama. Now, the tinting that's been going on here is just strictly archiving from an old picture. The lighting was different. Their skin tone is identical. You may claim it as a different skin tone, but really there isn't. It's just the lighting of the two pictures. So facially, though, you see a clear and decisive match between the two people. And I don't think anyone could dispute the possibility that that was his father. So I'll play that video for you later tonight. Yeah, could you just not use those words here? Thank you. Socialism doesn't work. Right. Look at Venezuela last week becoming the world's first worst economy. Yeah, people are literally looking for food in Venezuela. It's like a mad craving for food on the racks in Venezuela. Well, let's be clear. Let's see if we can get a picture of the situation. I'm going to drop out of that entire thing. There we go. Venezuela.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have that clip right now. Thank you. Gotcha. Forget that clip. Don't have it. Beekman, what do you have there? Whoa. You've got Obama morphing into Malcolm X. Well, I thought that for a while, but I must admit that's a good facsimile. I thought for a while, but you'll notice that Malcolm X had a cleft in his chin and Barack Obama does not. You'll see that. But lips are similar. I'd say nose is similar. It could be, I used to say that it was Malcolm X because his mom was in Seattle when Malcolm X spoke, and she was very impressionable, and as you know, she had a career in adult films. So many people think maybe there was a connection there somehow, and Barack Obama may have been the illegitimate child of Malcolm X. No, not they're all related. I'm saying people are clearly related. David, ban people who say straw man when they simply do not understand what straw man means. Okay. Anybody who says straw man will be banned immediately. Why would I do that? What difference at this point does it make? Hillary Clinton. Thank you. That was truly Hillary at Benghazi hearing before. I think now Hillary's done a great job of pretending to be a robot. Drag King's going to be, potentially banned for saying straw man.
Oh no.
Folks, if you don't know what straw man is, surrendering your straw man is essentially telling people that, thank you, that it's a point at which constitutionalists say that they as citizens of the United States corporation, surrender their straw man, meaning they do not assign to that system. You do not become a citizen of the United States corporation. Many of you don't realize it, but there are two citizens. When you're a citizen, you're actually a citizen based on the United States of America's Constitution, which currently is not in force. And that's why you see so many unconstitutional things going on right now. And the United States Corporation, which is a separate entity, was created in 1871 with the Act of 1871. That sees you as a citizen, as a corporate entity, much like a robot or a corporate entity. So ironically, we're seen as objects by the United States Corporation. And when a person says they surrender their straw man, that's what they're saying. They don't participate in that BS. Thank you. Luke, I am your father. You can surrender whatever to whatever, but the bottom line is, when you get pulled over by the man, you got to do what the man says, or you're going to go to jail. Now, if you don't believe that, go ahead and surrender your straw man and see how far that gets you. All right? Thank you. When you do comedy, you need a backup comedian. I don't need a backup. No. I'm not doing comedy. This is not like stand-up, where you see people roaming around like Robin Williams waiting to get depressed and then hanging off a door 40 years later. This is called sit down. All right? You understand what I'm talking about? Different. No, I chose not to do anything that you would ever recognize. Yep, I purposely went out of my way to not do anything that you would ever recognize my voice. I appreciate it, though. So, another neck rub here. She's doing her feet right now. I think it'd be kind of good as one of those foot things we do. We have a thing we call an ion cleanse. And if you go to ion cleanse on eBay, you can see what we use. It actually puts a small electric current through a bath of water. It's kind of cool. And it pulls toxins from your semi-permeable membrane called your skin. The ion cleanse. A straw man, a logical fallacy involving the purposeful misrepresentation of an argument in order to strike it down. Oh, that's true. That's another definition of the straw man. What is a UCC1 form? I don't know. Does that look familiar to you?
Universal code.
Oh, it's universal code, right? It's that we were getting back to the
Uniform commercial code.
Uniform Commercial Code 1, right? That gets back to merchant law. Remember we talked about that? Scissor Fight's trying to find out if our social security number is being traded on the open market by somebody. According to this theory that we are just corporate entities in the United States corporation, all of our birth dates and traced to our birth certificate, the number on that, according to his research, gives us a specific monetary value, like we're a bond. Now, I don't believe that this is necessarily the case, but that's the theory that's purported over a long period of time by various theorists, economic theorists that have been bringing up this point over and over again, that our country really isn't what we think it is. And I would love to share with all of you what our country really is, but it would take another show.
That's great.
If we ever get a third party formed, we can get this accountability factor. And in order to deal with the emerging debt, we're going to have to look at restructuring of our financial sector at the Treasury. And that's why I'm suggesting the infrastructure bank. As a very base minimum, we create a parallel bank that will fund the growth of new operations, new production, new development in our nation. And pull away the Federal Reserve's need to continually perform economically. Because they're about ready to probably pack it in, because they can't really do anything. They can't really lower the interest rate any lower than it is. And if they raise the interest rate, it could trigger a backlash, ultimately costing markets value. That could be the net result. But the markets are asking for an increase in interest rates. But the real value in the economy hasn't grown. We haven't seen any systemic growth to speak of. They talk about it, it's just a statistical judo move that they make, pretending like they've got the answers when they've masked the unemployment rate, which is really 38%. There's 96 million people not employed in America out of a potential 250 million people that could be employed. The rest are children and old people. And ironically, that's 38%, not 5% like they'd like us to believe it is. So basically, the wool is being pulled over our eyes, and we've seen this president and the previous president engage in what is called a cover-up. Nearly 600 earthquakes in San Ramon during recent events. Something's happening in San Ramon. We don't know what, but it's definitely in the 3.2 Richter scale level. 2 to 3.0. Yeah, which is odd. I think your boredom 943 may be a result of the spraying of chemicals in the air. Yeah.
Wow, reflexology actually works.
It does. It really does. So many of you want to have a better night and enjoy the evening. In 10 minutes, I'll play a song for you called Can't Stop, because we won't stop.
Oh, did you want to take a break before you play?
I am. I'm taking a little bathroom break. And I'll be right back to continue on this. Wow. Giving yourself a massage is perhaps the best thing anyone can do. So I want all of you to give yourself a massage tonight, okay? Do it for me. And say, thank you, David.
Thank you.
That was the easiest thing I ever did.
Give yourself a massage. I'll continue to massage myself. I already did a pretty good job on
Yes, you did.
on my feet. But at least my, what is it? Not my heels, what is that called? The pads of my feet? Yeah, the pad, I guess. Yeah. Well, no, I'm relaxed, finally. Because I was so tense when I came home today. I actually still am kind of tense. Here, you want me to... Why do I look like that? 3908. Oh man, that's much better. I don't have small feet. I wish I did. My feet have to be big to support all this hair. Yeah, I agree with you for 486. Do what makes you happy as long as you don't hurt anybody else physically. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes being relaxed is mistaken for that. I don't smoke, so I don't smoke dope or whatever it is. I don't smoke anything. Or imbibe or whatever the word is. Anyway, so I'm just finally relaxed. I don't think I looked this relaxed when I first got on the show, did I? Who knew that giving yourself a massage would actually be a good thing? If I had a parachute, it would get the pain out of my back. What, jumping out of an airplane? Yeah, it's probably is near Universal 934. Prescribed cliche phrases are useful to useless idiots. You say the Marxists and the Freudians have joined forces, hence if you make them feel inferior, they'll chimp out at you about how you're a counter-revolutionary. The atomic level of an argument. I guess I haven't heard that. He will be, Rick. Guess I'm not staying up on all those different schools. 3908. Whoa. You have a serious issue you want to address today? Okay, David will address it when he comes back. I'm just giving him a little bit of a break. It's been bothering you for a while, but you decided to wait until today. They kicked you out of Barnes & Noble? You went to Barnes & Noble today, Arcady? I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble hopefully this weekend and participate in their mini maker fair. You should go to Barnes & Noble. They're having a mini maker fair this weekend. I'm going to go. I would like to go. Oh yeah, I never noticed like you massage the armpits, Drag King. I should do that. I'm going to try that on David. Ask him to try that. I mean, I can't massage my own armpit. Does that help? It actually does help a little bit. Let's see. I don't think so. I'm pretty good about taking that off. The hair off my armpits. But, not always, though, because sometimes in the winter it's like, I'd rather, there's a song, you don't shave your legs when you're lazy. I'm lazy quite sometimes. No. Will David do anything about it if elected? You live in Virginia Falls Church, to be specific. Yeah, Rick Springfield, were you in the room last night talking to us about this church? No? Well, there was a guest in the room talking to us about this church. Is this the one where Anwar al-Alawi used to be the. It's off 7. Is this the mosque where Anwar Anwar? What is it? Awali? How do you say his name? Anyway, he used to be the imam there. Yeah, I have heard about this church. And anyway, what I would do, Rick Springfield, is I would encourage military members dressed in full garb to go to the church and start. Yes, Anwar al-Waki. I would encourage military members dressed in full garb to go there and start practicing their freedom of religion. And then everyone could go there and start practicing their freedom to peacefully assemble. Peaceably assemble. He said Islam is a religion of peace. All right. No, actually, Beekman, I didn't. But I hear things about that all the time. Sometimes. It's difficult to encourage students that don't necessarily want to be in school. I know. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to see something that negative. He asked you to leave because you were being rude. What were you saying, Rick? But I would say, Beekman, as a teacher, you have to have engaging lessons as much as you possibly can. If you have it, I guess Pacific would want to see it, even though your name Pacific means peace. I wouldn't want to see something disturbing like that anyway. Oh, you threw a few stereotypes at him, did you? Well, I guess you were practicing your freedom of speech. The mosque has terrorists all over it, like pictures of terrorists all over it? Or are you just saying the people that go there? I enjoy giving myself a massage. So wearing a beard stretched all the way down their chest. Well, I have hair that stretches all the way down my chest. It's kind of crazy, but correct. Yes, you can't. 3908. I would love to see your links, but you're going to actually have to make an account and post them if you'd like to, for us to see them. What does Atlantic mean? I don't know what Atlantic means, but I do know what Pacific means because I was reading about it in a history book, and they got to the Pacific Ocean. Like they were tracking out, they were walking all the way across the continent or traveling all the way across the continent, and when they got to the Pacific Ocean, they felt so peaceful that they named it the Pacific. Scissor Fight just posted the video. It's going around. Teachers get harassed. Students attack teacher in public school. Okay, I will check it out. Well, now I know about the mosque. It's Hajib or something like that. The language is kind of strong. Okay, then I don't want to watch it right now. I wonder why the students, was there an explanation? Did they explain why they were harassing the teacher or attacking the teacher? Most of your neighbors go to the mosque all the time, so most of your neighbors are of Muslim faith, or what is it? Oh, it's the state of this one particular school. It's completely out of control. Oh man. Yeah, it's difficult once you get a school out of control. It's difficult to get it back in control. Yeah, I'm sure being a teacher can be more hazardous in some ways. I actually spoke to a colleague that said students throwing chairs around and all that.
Oh yeah. It's terrible.
I agree with you, Pacific. I agree. I do agree. And it would be safer. No. We wouldn't be shooting anyone, Drag King. It's all about just staying safe. Self-defense. Everyone is quite right. Quite
right.
Beautiful.
Quite right.
Amazing. Yes, I'm aware the mosque exists in Fall Church, Virginia.
Yes, we documented that stuff last night, Rick. We got a lot of specific information, and I put it in my notes. So if we could ever help you stop this, we certainly will. But unless I have political power, I'm not able to help you. You know.
I can't believe how much that
It helps.
reflexology helps.
Yeah, your feet really control a lot of your body.
My back is like a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should do it to myself.
You should. Here, I'll go back.
Let's do the foot part. You live 4 miles from it, Rick? Well, Rick, you can do the same thing you claim they're doing. You know, you can defend yourself and your family. I'm not sure what the laws are in Virginia or in New York regarding that. But
I didn't know it would help that much, but it really did.
Yeah, so...
Well, the teacher didn't just walk out because she is responsible to supposedly monitor the students. Is her right?
We have rare demolition evidence of the 9/11 attack. I'll take a look at in just a bit. The plane wasn't no airliner or anything. That's what the person says. Let me just throw this on for a second. I want to take a look at this.
Okay.
This just came in from Giraffe Brain.
She should have called the principal. That's definitely true.
Now we don't...
I haven't seen the video, but I'm sure she should have called the principal from the 3 seconds that I saw.
Yeah, principal should have been called. All right, so let's just take a quick look and see what this is. Bill Cooper was the one who claimed that the 9/11 attack was going to happen 3 months before it happened. You know, we feature 9/11 on Truth Tuesday, but Freedom Fridays, we sometimes touch on these issues. Hey, thanks for coming in, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I'm off for the night.
Sarah's going to say goodnight, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Wow, I remember this day. Sarah and I just got back from a long trip cross country. We were at the New York City area 5 days before the attack occurred. So there's the jet. It looks like a military jet with special missiles attached to it. Okay, they said goodnight. Arcady says goodnight.
Military plane.
And the plane wasn't no airline or anything. It was a twin-engine, big gray plane.
We watched the first explosion. As we're watching the buildings, we saw a black, very large airplane flying right into the second building. It came out of the south, right in front of our eyes. It was so surreal, like a movie set.
Were you close enough to be able to see any markings on the airplane?
Yes.
It definitely didn't look like a commercial plane. I didn't see any windows on the side.
I think a plane over the lobby first, then a plane hit the ground, then another.
Okay, we're going to get a lot of information will come out about the 9/11 attack as time goes on, and I'm not afraid to talk about these issues. I don't mind touching on these because, you know, the third party is really a merge of questions and answers. That's how I see it. Beer Advocate wants me to talk about Ben Shapiro. Okay, hold on that question. I believe we are questions and answers. That's what the third party is. We're right in the middle of the political spectrum, so it's really important that we kind of keep an objective view on all issues. And I don't shut down questions about 9/11. I think that's perfectly legitimate. In fact, I believe there is a cover-up going on. I really do. Well, we've got a lot of questions, but I do have answers too for our economy and for our country's destiny. We have a 50-year plan for the nation so that we can grow and prosper and clean the environment and create products and get American business back on track. They don't have that in the Democratic Republican Party. I mean, it's just questions. In fact, they don't even ask any questions. Republicans, they want to endorse GMOs just like Hillary Clinton. I don't want GMOs in my life. I don't want to get laboratory tumors and you know, like they see in the laboratory animals. I don't want that. I don't want that for you either. But apparently the two parties don't care about GMOs. I'm not sure why I'm sitting all the way over here. What is your bad news? 1906. You may be undiagnosed. They may have leukemia. Who are you talking about? You're still talking about Ben Shapiro? Like that's an important thing I should deal with? Yeah, nobody sent me any IMs. That's good. Okay, well. Ben Carson is basically, you know, admitting that he lied in his book, which may hit him in the polls. We don't know. But Hillary Clinton, she can lie about everything and hide emails and never get any kind of inquisition that's credible into her background. Okay. What do I think about him? Okay. Okay, I don't really think there's much to talk about right now. That's really what I think about him, yeah. Okay, let's see. You would not be for transgenderism? Yeah. I don't want to tell a person what to do, but I mean, they should have a psychiatric evaluation to determine if they want to chop their genitals off or implant prostheses in their body. Okay. Is that true, Giraffe Brain? Ben Carson said he had a tough childhood, but it doesn't sound like that when you listen to Donald Trump, who had a silver spoon in his mouth his entire life. David, all those witnesses were in shock. They don't know what they saw. Witnesses to what? 1906 has lots of problems. What's your problem, man? Blood count problem? It's undiagnosed, so you may have leukemia, 1906? Is that what you're dealing with? right. Bolster your immune system. Okay. Well, I'm not here to prescribe medicine or give you any specific advice. I can tell you, though, that we got a really interesting article from a recent study on the impact of ginger. And I was like kind of shocked when I read it. But let me get you the link to that. And I'm just telling you, dietarily speaking, ginger is coming out to be 10,000 times more effective, stronger than even chemo at killing cancer cells, according to this article. So yeah, your core problem is probably in the center of your bone marrow. And here, I'll give you the link to it right now. It's from one of my favorite sites, the Health Nut. She's such a great gal. Health Nut News. I don't know her personally, but I really like her site. But new study shows ginger is 10,000 times stronger than chemo. Now, the nice thing about ginger is it doesn't kill you, like to kill you therapy. Now, I've been eating ginger now every day, just as a preventative measure, because you don't know what we're facing with radiation and toxicity in our environment, you know. No, 341, Hitler was wrong about everything. He literally put his entire nation at risk and ended up killing a lot of Germans by being an idiot. Okay, thanks, Hopper. Well, I've never used a call. I've never used your ATP number against you. I can't dial out of that number. It's strictly a number it's a dial-in number. All right, so this study is showing that ginger is looking pretty good. Now, this is something you can get for very little money at your local grocery. And you can start chopping it into your stir fries. I get the candied ginger at Trader Joe's. You may want to look into that, candied. It's sulfured, but it's not sweetened. It's slightly sweetened, whatever. It's really, I was quite amazed. So do that, and don't forget there's also the possibility of seaweed. If you got something like you got. Seaweed has some miraculous benefits. One of the reasons why people in Japan are surviving right now, and this is historically speaking, many of them smoke cigarettes in Japan, nearly half the population. Yet they have the lowest number of people dying from lung cancer. Thyroid cancer is up, though, because of Fukushima. But lung cancer is still, and they are east of the prevailing wind, so Fukushima is blowing off their coast. There's a lot of reasons. But it's interesting to know the Japanese have always had seaweed in their diet, which helps prevent that, the growth of cancer cells. Somebody said this is going to start breaking off, and they're absolutely right. Yeah, once I lose my rubber at the bottom, this cup is going to be next to worthless. So we don't know what's toxic, what's not. I mean, at this point, I'm just accepting the fate that you guys are accepting. We got 55,000 chemicals in our environment, and hell's bells. Every day's a crapshoot. Roll the dice, everybody. So the important thing is you need to enjoy your life. Because it's your life, Mr. Anderson. It's the reason you're here. Yes. You're not just a vegetable to be used as biomass. You're here to enjoy the feeling, Mr. Anderson, of being human. Yeah, you're given a limited amount of time here on Earth. So you need to understand, you need to maximize the time that you have here on Earth for yourself and your family. I would love to say, thank you. You can glue something on my face. Is there something wrong with my hair? I had a picture earlier. Our Monday show, in case you wondered. Let me show you. Our Monday show is pretty interesting. I'm wearing this wig now. And I'm creating this character called Surfer Dave. And Surfer Dave and the Conspiracy Theory Show is going to be debuting on YouTube soon. Well, I disagree. My hairline's the same as it is in that picture. Yeah, I just have more hair in that picture. Thank you. But that's the Monday show, and that's the Surfer Dave look. Thank you. I can't understand why you would dislike my hair. I like it. What do you have here? Spent cartridges from a drill, a Craftsman drill. This is a woman who reported that this is the level of ignorance people have, folks. Check this out. These are clearly drill bits, but Petty Crocker says, I was at the gas station and found these bullets on the ground, so I took them home, did some research, and found out there's some from an automatic assault rifle. Really? People make me sick. How are you just going to let these kind of things lie around? SMDH. Yeah. Spent bullet cartridges. That's how little many Democrats know about guns and bullets and whatever. Petty Crocker. I don't know if she's related to anybody. Petty Crocker's related to, herself. If it's a real person, I feel sorry for her. Austin cops beat up men for jaywalking. We got a new brutality issue to deal with tonight on Freedom Friday. It's fun, though, to talk about police brutality, isn't it? As long as it's not happening to you. Uh-oh. What's happening here?
Stop! Record it!
Austin cops beat up man after they crossed against the light.
I'm recording. Get down! Look at man! What the fuck? Down! What the fuck are y'all doing? Stop! Stop the team! Stop! Just be still.
Let's take this from the beginning.
Be still! Really? Whoa!
They're just grabbing the guy.
Whoa, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
Look at this.
What the fuck? Stop!
Whoa.
Record it! Record it!
For jaywalking.
I'm recording. Get down! Look at
Oh my God.
What the fuck are y'all
What's going on here?
Stop the team! Stop! Just be still! I'm not doing nothing, man! Be still! What the fuck? Be still! Okay, I'm down, bro!
Look at this.
I'm down, bro! I'm down, bro!
Whoa.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is
Unbelievable,
going on right now?
folks.
They're not doing anything. They just
For what?
This is unreal.
You didn't know anything. Look, this guy has all his drugs on him. You're fucking attacking my friends.
What did I do, man? What did I do?
Well, yeah. Definitely unnecessary force was used in that situation. He was not resisting arrest. They did not use proper procedure. Everything was wrong. You're out of line here. The guy, no. The state is collecting revenue there, folks. They're trying to arrest somebody for no reason. You don't see him jaywalking. Maybe he did something before the camera came on. Whatever. Your input is always welcome, but gosh darn it, guys. That's no way to treat an average person. I mean, how would you like to be rousted like that in the street? Hello? Put yourself in his shoes. Hi, Blue Raven. Yeah, you like the Mr. Rogers' Garden of Your Mind song? That's nice. Well, I'm dealing with a lot of verbal abuse tonight. People are accusing me of having a receding hairline. And I disagree. I'm going to trace back to the early days when I was an 18-year-old. And I'm going to bring you a picture that'll show you my hairline hasn't receded. I know that sounds a little wacky, but I've got to answer to the truth here, and my freedom to use the show any way I want. As you can see, my hairline's always been up right around here. As you can see there, from the forehead. Taking a picture from this picture right here, for instance, and matting it over my face. enlarging it to the size of my current head, and pulling back on the transparency setting, I look just like this person. And I would argue that my hairline is actually exactly where it was then. It just had more poof up here. All right? I had more poof up here. This is where it lofted up. And it's the actual positioning of the hair that makes you think I have a receding hairline. You see what's going on? Whatever. I'm just telling you, you're wrong. I could have been a contender. Yeah, I was a person looking for a good job, and I ran into a snafu, a situation when I was about 18 years old. I would love to tell you about it, but I can't. It's all in my autobiography, which would make writing an autobiography kind of pointless. It's not thinning. I'm telling you. That's my hairline. That's me. That's where I've been all these years. Well, nobody ever found me to be attractive. I've spent my whole life not really, feeling very attractive. I was kind of an ugly duckling. So it was never really my hope that I'd ever become a person like an actor or anything. And I never had professional training in acting. I did have some voiceover training, and that's what launched me into voiceover, but never into acting. So I really didn't jump into acting. I don't really feel comfortable with scripts, and I'm a more impromptu guy. I would rather do a talk show live, unscripted. I'd much rather be that kind of a person. You might call me a professional broadcaster. I used to be a professional broadcaster for years. I have eyebrows. These are eyebrows. These aren't painted on. These are just, the hair tone color of my hair is not. You've had no professional media training whatsoever, yeah? Well, I'm not here to talk about your body parts. We're here to talk about freedom of speech. Florida bill would fully decriminalize marijuana, effectively nullifying federal prohibition. So Florida is putting a bill out to legalize. There you go. Welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah, we had a great song from Scissor Fight earlier, and I did not follow up on my "Can't Stop Till We Won't Stop" promise to you. So we'll do that right now, get into that, and then we'll look at some of these bills that are coming forth and analyzing their credibility. Credibility, no pun intended. Okay, can't stop 'cause we won't stop.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Spawn High. America's Third Party.
Spawn for president. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
It's happening, man. Oh, this is like a revelation.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please
I
vote
agree.
for
Marijuana
Davis
should be
Spawn
legal.
America's Third Party.
Yeah, you got it wrong, man. It's got to be legal. Otherwise, drug cartels will make a lot more money. 75% of all drug cartel income that goes to drugs and, you know, guns and gangs is coming from marijuana. Thank you. A Scissor Fight original, everybody. You can't stop. All right, thank you. Legal. Legalize weed. Yeah. Sing in. Is this some form of wording that has been progressed now? We are human. You are in the wrong room. All alien forms must go to another room. Only humans or people replicating human-like behavior are allowed in this room. You are hereby kicked out of our room. Yeah, Obama doesn't see the benefit of clean oil transport within our country. He doesn't even support our infrastructure. No, that's your brain floating around in your head. That's the pile of garbage that the propaganda machine has fed you. And that's what keeps you rolling. I could take it all away. I could virtually clean up your brain and bring you clarity. But you'd have to at least listen to what I'm saying. We're all about American freedom, about individual freedom, about the rights of our states, 10th Amendment rights guaranteed in our Constitution. We're all about our Constitution. There's a component in America's Third Party that represents the constitutionalists, the people that support this little pamphlet. Now, this is not really in effect. As you know, our country went bankrupt in 1933, March 9th. And we've been bankrupt ever since, so this document is null and void, unfortunately. You didn't know that, and many of you don't, but our country was essentially in the 1870s, we adopted a plan of creating a corporation called the United States. And they don't use this Constitution. They have administrative judges. It's a veritable cartel that's running our country. 75% of all marijuana sales to illegal, like countries like Mexico and drug cartels, are actually what they're relying on for their income. They get most of their money from marijuana sales, which is kind of ironic. It's the bread and butter of the cartels. So by legalizing marijuana here, we're going to piss off our own drug dealers that are making money, but will ultimately help the country. Because we're going to improve the economy in general. No longer will we have to live in some sort of a hypocritical state of lies and deceit, where a government spends $26 billion a year on the DEA to cut down marijuana crops that could actually profit the country, especially the sale of hashish around the world. I mean, that product can easily be made out of a lot of that stuff that's cut. And the product could be very, very lucrative, a taxable product that could make our government money back. So that's something we really support. So legalization is just, it's like a no-brainer here. Why not? Why wouldn't we? And so many people don't understand that, like the people in Ohio who just ruled against it. There's a lot of no-nosed dimwits in the world who don't really understand what's going on, who can't even imagine, why we would legalize a product that's healthy, medicinal, proving to benefit people. I think a lot of people are just kind of bored. So they want to take away other people's happiness. They want to tell other people what they can do with their bodies. Now, this woman loves food. I'm not telling her she can't eat it. Kate Hudson. I think it's great. Some of you love to work out, like our emblem here. I'm not sure if it's our emblem, but it's definitely an unemblem. But many of you have become kind of, uptight and wanting to tell everybody what to do. Yeah, kind of like this guy. The person who knows everything that he wants and is afraid of everything. Issue 3 was a monopoly. Hey, bozo. I'm in Ohio and do not want a monopoly. And why are you telling me this? This jacket is not velvety, it's pleather. Some of you don't understand the rapture that Cheech and Chong experienced making this movie. The nirvana, the quintessential new next dimension, if you will. The breaking boundaries of finding out about the world around you. This is something that only they could understand. Yeah. Dave's not here, man. Hey, Dave here? No, man. Dave's not here. Hey, Dave there? The reason why I didn't make the filming of that movie, I was delayed in Venice, smoking a doobie. I first smoked marijuana in 1981. Yeah. Cheech and Bong, yeah. I'm just telling you how it is. Okay, 10 investors would have owned all the marijuana production as a monopoly, yeah? And they didn't do it. So if we legalize marijuana, recreational across the board like Justin Trudeau wants to do, there won't be these pockets of corruption like you're seeing right now in the underworld. I just have to get up and dance. You don't mind if I relive my 60s? I remember back when I was 60. Well, that was a long time ago. See, that was Disco Dave. That was me back in the 70s, actually. Well, you Ohioites really are stuck up and stuffy, if you ask me. I mean, no personal. I don't want you to take it personally, but stuck up and stuffy. I've noticed this on the highway. When I'm driving my old jalopy, you turn around and, whenever I pull into an Ohio rest stop, which, by the way, are incredible. Showers, you name it. Beautiful. Your state is beautiful. But I always hear these people saying, ooh, look at that guy driving that old jalopy. It's like, hey, not all of us drive brand new VW Golfs. I mean, hello. Anyway, Disco Dave. Well, you Ohioites will have to just accept it when I legalize it across the nation, won't you? Too bad, you lose. Welcome to the Freedom Eagle. More powerful than your average roto-rooter. It will get rid of corruption better than anything. Whatever, the marijuana vote should have gone for legalization, and I'm sorry for you liberals in Ohio. Oh, you want it legal? Well, good. Why do you think it was defeated? Give me your best shot. New Job Monday says, I've come to believe that Ben Carson is out of his mind. Yeah, good point. New Job Monday. Okay, I stopped it. I know it's kind of badass. I hear you, man. Well, I don't normally walk around in my leather jacket tonight, but I thought I'd make it pretty obvious that I got the leather chair and the leather jacket on, and I'm just kind of like, I want to party. I have the need to party. I really do. And that's why I started America's Third Party, so I could have a party here in my studio, my home studio, with myself. It would be kind of weird if no one was watching, though, wouldn't it? Freaky. Yeah, Ben Carson doesn't know what he's saying. He's kind of a flip-flopper. He's kind of this and that. He doesn't wishy-washy, spineless, okey-doke kind of guy. I just don't think he's the right guy. And I think you know what I'm saying. I don't feel it with him, and he doesn't even win the black vote, man. I'm more black than he is. When you trace my roots, you'll find that I have a small Native American in me. I'm not sure how big, maybe 2 inches tall. But I know I've got a small, little bit of Native American from my Algonquin roots. My mother told me that we had a great-great-great-great-grandmother that was Algonquin, and apparently that, whatever. So, I mean, we all have a little connection, if you know what I mean. Every candidate on both parties are either Jew or Judaized. What do you mean by that? You mean Donald Trump is not Jewish after all? Oy vey. Ach, der Liebe. I wouldn't have known this. Yeah, I got more soul than Ben has. I can tell I do, man. That's what I'm talking about. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, the city. What do you mean by Judaized? I mean, I don't understand. You made up a name there, man. I never heard that name before. His daughter is Jewish? Okay. She became Jewish, and he's been Judaized. Okay, I get you. Okay, whatever. I'm not in any way anti-Semitic, so kind of, relax. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, if I have Indian in my blood, let me play a little Indian song that I created on Acid by Sony. This is kind of like a Jim Morrison rant. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. All right, let's get this party going. So we found out a new thing. Ginger might very well kill cancer cells. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a great thing to know, don't you think? I learned this last night in our show. I'm trying to learn one thing a week. Oh, you don't like music? You don't like any music? All right, we're going to stop the music because someone here does not like music. Now, I was reading the minutes from last night, and one of you had a question. I would love to respond to your question, so feel free to ask away again. I believe someone in our show last night had a question. I know a lot of you don't have a lot on your mind. Don't feel bad. It's not your fault. I don't know what the answer is for your Cheech and Chong. Yes, ginger. Ginger's, in Cockney parlance, is the root of an agenda. The ginger beer. What exactly is Cockney parlance? I'm not English. I'm merely putting on a horrible accent. Well, hybrid capitalism is a way of getting a return on investment for the government. 3908. Our plan for hybrid capitalism actually gets the government to pay for itself over time. An example of this would be taking the money we give to farmers to not grow things, to grow things, and use that food product to integrate into the EBT program and offer people low-cost entrees with their EBT card. And if they just had frozen entrees that were made in America for American government, the American taxpayer would actually save money on this. So we wrote this book called Hybrid Capitalism, which simply turns the government into a mechanism for the taxpayer to get money back, as opposed to a draining bureaucracy which sucks the lifeblood out of the future of our nation. So that's encapsulated in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, which is available at our website, AmericasThirdParty.com. There you go. Brewed ginger beer. Yep. Draft Brain found some ginger beer. Yeah, there you go. So now you can go on a search for the candy ginger at Trader Joe's. I think Sarah and I are going to get some as well. We have some, but I'm blown away by this study. So if you want a copy of the study, here it is. Check it out. If you believe it, great. I'm not here to promote anything. I'm just trying to, expose you to other information. Okay, UK continues its campaign against legalization, claiming that smoking cannabis raises risk of stroke, drug significantly, narrows blood vessels. Yeah. You can also get a stroke from being under a jet and having jets fly at 120 decibel noise levels above your head. Well, if you wait till January, Guest 3414, we're going to release a chapter a month, I think, during 2016. Yeah, I hear that, man. Aye, baby. I'll catch you later, baby. What is your problem? Thank you. I can't believe what I have to put up with in this show. People that don't like noseless people. People without noses. I couldn't even keep a straight face on that one. You could see me smirk. All right, well, whatever. We'll bring Nose Guy in anytime you have a response like that. Well, I can't. You see, 202, United States of America cannot be sued because they don't exist. Yep. You didn't hear my dissertation on the United States of America? That is an entity that is nullified. It's been in bankruptcy since 1933. You didn't know that? You can't sue a country that's been in bankruptcy since 1933. If we sued the organization, the United States Corporation, which employs a Department of Defense, like a corporation has departments of, men's furnishings or women's hosiery, the Department of Defense could be sued, I suppose, and that would be a DOD corporate thing. But what's the point? I mean, I'm here to protect the rights of individuals simply by talking about it. I can always move away from the jets. It's no big deal for me to, move away. But it is a big deal for other people. And I'm a big part of the lives of other people. And I have to think of that. Me, I could be a sovereign individual and travel around the world with a small suitcase. When I don't go to the bathroom more than twice and we have a break with Sarah. I don't dislike sex. I just dislike bad sex. Gratuitous sex. Boring sex. Have any of you ever had boring sex? Come on, tell the truth. We can talk about this. This is Friday night. This is about as close to sex you'll ever get. Okay. Yeah, so you know what I mean. Okay, so I don't think we have a disagreement here. Your choice. All right, so we've had a little bit of a kind of a gap here. I haven't talked enough about false flags, and I've got an evening of false flag videos showing you. A lot of you guys are completely connected to false flags. Well, ironically, there's one thing all of them have in common. While the NSA is telling you what they're doing and how they watch you and how there's camera angles from every single angle in the country where they could track you, I could talk about that. In fact, I'll be playing a video about that tonight. But basically, you got the change Obama promised you. The government watches you and watches everything you do, except for when people are being murdered and there are no cameras, like in Sandy Hook, when we never saw cameras at Sandy Hook at all. No camera footage, even though allegedly Sandy Hook Elementary had a camera and system installed based on their procurement order. We never saw camera footage. So it's the missing link, folks, that really leads us down the road to false flags. Lack of evidence, lack of camera footage, just like when I said the Umpqua Community College, they seized all the cell phone cameras from everybody there. No camera footage, no surveillance cameras at the college. I mean, hello? That's your telltale sign right there. They're watching you, but when it comes to watching the important thing, like what they're doing to lie about things going on to promote their agenda, they don't have any cameras at all. Oh yeah, Joe. In fact, if you were in Baltimore or in St. Louis at the time of the Ferguson rioting and the Baltimore rioting, the government saw your junk. They had helicopters rigged with thermoscopes that analyze infrared imagery. They saw you touching yourself, Joe. Do you live in Baltimore or in St. Louis area? No, I don't have a camera in my toilet. And that's just 3901, that's it for you. You're done. I'm hereby purging all of your comments if you continue that way. Well, careful what you wish for. It is kind of a weird ad. It kind of implies that we're in favor of this when we're against it. But I thought it would be enough to put on the screen to kind of raise your droopy eyes while you're getting ready to, fall into your belladonic haze from being fluoridated all day, drinking tap water and beer and soda. So no doubt you'll forget about everything I said later. It's like, you roll over into your vomit and go to bed. I'm not banning you. No, I just felt that you should clean up your act. No, I don't want to see dead children. That's my point. I just want to make sure we know that they were in fact dead. We have no photos of anything. There's no telltale evidence of anything. That's your open door to the false flag. Behind door number 1, the false flag discussion. Behind door number 2, the overwhelming cover-up about chemtrails. Yeah. Or behind door number 3 is the alien agenda. You can go right there immediately and believe that aliens exist, and then all of a sudden everything makes sense to you because reptilians took over the White House. Either choice, whether it's behind door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, you're playing with Monty Hall, and let's make a deal. If you vote for me in the upcoming election, I will prevent the corporate pigs from ruining our nation. Okay? That's my promise to you. You, sir, are fake. And I'm going to purge you if you continue saying I'm fake. That's derogatory, and I'm real. No, you're the dummy. No. Fairbites is not a dummy either. Well, this has been enlightening. We've got 11 more minutes of fun stuff to talk about. Are you interested in anything else? How about other pictures of women? Would you like that? You tell me what you like. Use your words. We're doomed, I know. Refried Bacon saying, oh my God, we're doomed. I know. Our former president, John F. Kennedy, who, like I said earlier, had his head blown off, and then the thugs took over our government. Right around the time he had his head blown off, he said this. You ready for this? Here we go. Listen to this. John F. Kennedy initiated the plan to start the chemtrails that turned you into a mental midget. Ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. We shall propose, finally, a global systems of communication satellites linking the whole world in telegraph and telephone and radio and television. The day need not be far away when such a system will televise the proceedings of this body to every corner of the world for the benefit of peace.
Kennedy was talking about weather control with confidence. In April of the previous year, the Tyros satellite had been launched from Cape Canaveral and equipped with solar power to send back images of cloud formations. The national press announced that Tyros, quote, opens up new vistas for weather forecasting and control, unquote. But developments in weather control had already been underway. In 1958, the military announced success with weather modification by sending powerful electromagnetic beams into the upper atmosphere using ionospheric heaters like the one at HAARP today. There's a longer article on the history of weather modification in the link below. I advise you to read it, look through it, see the people involved to get a better sense of where we stand on weather modification and even global warming. 1964 cartoon of the Tyros satellite. Little humor. When we predict snow, it snows.
Okay, there you have it. Hey, another story just came in from Gawker. Thank you, Beekman. That was great. Yeah, what do you have there? Eisenhower warns us of the industrial complex. Yeah, we play that on anti-war Saturday. We are playing that tomorrow, Beekman. Yeah. Yeah, JFK got his head blown off. I'm sorry to say. But yeah, this story just popped up about Gawker. Thank you. I'm not sure who submitted it. Let me see if I can get it. Giraffe brain. Oh. Having a woman having a selfie when she's having a stroke. I don't want to play that. I'm not sure who submitted the other one, but here it is. Whew. Watch young Ben Carson attack his mom with a hammer and then stab his friend Bob. Wow. Pictures. This is from a movie by Cuba Gooding Jr. about Ben Carson's life.
Morning. Why aren't you wearing the pants I got you? Don't they fit?
No, I didn't try them on.
Why not?
They're the wrong kind.
What you mean they're the wrong kind? I paid good money for them pants.
That's too bad. You can take them back if you want.
I can't take them back. I bought them on special.
That's too bad, but I'm not going to wear them.
I'm fixing this window myself, Benny, so I'd have money to get you them pants.
That's your problem. Look, throw them away. I'm not going to wear them.
You can't have everything in life you want.
I will.
Not as long as you keep going down this path, talking smart and acting stupid. Why, if I didn't know these out.
Shut up. All you do is preach me. Shut up.
Wow.
You can buy whatever you want. You pay the bills. You pay the bills next month. I'll bring home every dime I'm making cash and hand it.
Wow. Should I play more? Did you see that? Wow, that was like a really intense. Yeah, this movie about Ben Carson's life, attacking his mom with a hammer. Donald Trump must be eating this for dinner. Then he found Christ. I see. I had no idea that Ben Carson was a repentant knifer stabbing his friend Bob. I had no idea. So in other words, Ben Carson became a brain surgeon because he liked knives? I mean, I'm a little confused here. Hey, Big Daddy Kane, what's going on, man? Righteous, man. Come on into my show. Make yourselves at home, okay? Yeah, I don't understand it either. I'm a little concerned that Ben Carson isn't all there, too. I mean, it's beginning to sound a lot like lies. But let's not forget Hillary Clinton. Let's not forget what she's become. Because not once in this show, in the entire show, have I talked about the demon we know as Hillary. The demonic possession we know as Hillary Clinton. And whether she's a computer, robot, or whatever, she's certainly a woman who will not answer to the the credible questions about Benghazi. She's still deflected in that recent inquisition by the Republicans when they attempted to ask her questions, when she fogged them repeatedly, steamrolling past them with the same response every single time. It was phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, I'm going through the clip, a 10-hour clip, and trying to edit just the Hillary responses. Yeah, well, Hillary is not exactly cool, if you ask me. I mean, we're looking at a demonic possession here. If you want to talk about religion, folks, and you're thinking of Ben Carson, I think you need to think about Hillary being a demonic possession. Let's bring in the Hillary laughs. We've got that on cue over here. I couldn't deliver the Hillary laugh without going to YouTube, because it's a 10-hour video you gave me, Beekman. You gave me the Hillary laugh track, 10 hours. Well, I believe that Hillary is demonized. If she isn't demonized, she's actually a computer, like she said. She's a robot, or not even a real human being. I tend to believe that the Hillary we know today may very well have succumbed to the evil. I'm just saying, she just seems so like with a hidden agenda. How could you Democrats even consider her? What's wrong with you people? And she still endorses a war with Syria. Let's talk on the issues. Let's not, go name calling and implying she's possessed. I mean, clearly she is. Let's not do that. In no way should we, make a big deal about that. What's a little satanic possession? I mean, come on, people. If you can't see it, look at it. Just stare at it for a while. That's why I have it on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, what the heck happened to that? There it is. Okay. I'll bring it in. Yeah, we'll just listen in on some of the responses she had during that hearing. I've got 11 hours. And I think she was more robotic when she responded to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the Benghazi hearing. This was extremely hard to find. It was purged on the internet. We finally found it. The work of Dubster was the guy that located this.
The public ever saw it. There's no transcript of the ARB interview, so it's impossible to know whether all relevant questions were asked and answered. And because there's no transcript, it is also impossible to cite the ARB interviews with any particularity at all. That is not independent, that is not accountability, that is not a serious investigation. You will hear there were previous congressional investigations into Benghazi, and that is true. And it should make you wonder why those investigations failed to interview so many witnesses and access so many documents. If those previous congressional investigations were really serious and thorough, how did they miss Ambassador Stevens' emails? If those previous investigations were serious and thorough, how did they miss Secretary Clinton's emails?
All right, if this isn't a person who looks drugged, I don't know what is. Now, if she is indeed human, which is still, I'm beginning to wonder with the technology that we have today. Well, Trump is working on the. I can tell you, I'm not getting a lot of honesty from her eyes at all. I'm beginning to sense that she's got some hidden agenda, and you can sense it too, right? I don't know. I just don't get the impression she's telling the truth. There's zero compassion. Thank you. Oh, I got to compliment my hair. Wow, this is amazing. I've had nothing but people hate on my hair all night from the guest gallery. But at this point, it does make a big difference. Whether she's telling the truth, whether she was drugged up in this interview. I believe that she was on drugs, like Valium or something. At this point, what difference does it make? I don't know what to think. All I can tell you is she's not answering any questions. None of the questions about why her email did a search for mind control, why her web search included a search on how to get rid of emails, no response. It's a manipulation. Yes, thank you. Beekman, you have something else to say? It's the eyes of a guilty person, I believe. And I don't believe that Republicans were able to flush it out of them. We have a 45-minute declassified human experimentation show to bring you tonight, courtesy of you-know-who. Before we do that, we're going to bring you some of the Austin cop violence that happened against a man who crossed against a light. We'll play a little bit more of that and see how that went down. And then we'll bring you that other declassified human experimentation video. Yeah. Well, thank you, Big Daddy Kane. Appreciate the time that we've spent tonight, everybody. As you know, our goal is to help maintain the individual freedom of Americans, support our Constitution, and get our country back. Now, when I say the United States of America is, at this point, in bankruptcy, it is technically. The United States Corporation is the one that's standing in the way of bringing back the United States of America. Once we resolve the bankruptcy that's still in existence on paper since 1933, we'll be able to erase portions of the debt and get our country back and begin defending it against these interlopers that have come in and used their money and their power to buy control over our politicians, who become like whores, common whores, willing to spread their legs or whatever a whore does for a cheap donation to their campaign. I'm using these words because these words mean something. And the last thing we need now is these people getting a return right back into the swing of things every single year by incumbents getting reelected. There's a reformist group that I'm reaching out to among senators, 22 senators and congressmen who have retired. They're trying to put together election reform. And I'm writing them an email. I'm trying to get the key person in the group to write to. But I'm going to write them an email asking them to look at election law state by state as a violation of equal protection under the law. Now, much like same-sex marriage, which had to go to the Supreme Court to allow same-sex marriage in every state, every one of our states has different election law to get the same thing on the ballot. Federal elections for U.S. senators, U.S. congressmen, and U.S. presidents are all different for every state. And I believe that's a clear violation of equal protection under the law. And that's something I think we can actually work on. Even as a lobbying group, America's Third Party can fight for that, because we need sameness and fairness. You guys should know that you need so many signatures to get me on the ballot. It shouldn't be so complicated like it is today. Now, we've made it simple for you to go to AmericasThirdParty.com, click on your state, and contact the Secretary of State and ask for a petition to get the president on the ballot in your state. But like I said, without the sameness across the board, it's hard for us to convey any other thing for you to do. But that's the simplest thing for you to do. We want fair and even playing field for every American, and we don't think we have it right now. All right, everybody, this has been great. Thanks for coming in. Tomorrow is our anti-war rally, and we're going to be talking more about the Syrian upscale of troops, more involvement, Obama and Hillary and the Republicans all pushing for involvement in Syria. We don't think that's necessary. America's Third Party is against sending more troops in. I have a solemn promise that I will subtract troops from the Middle East overall and begin to end the wars that we know as the Iraq, Afghanistan, and now Syrian war. So it's pretty serious, and I appreciate your participation in this process. And check in anytime. We have a show every night except Sunday. 24 hours a night from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Good night, everybody.
Those congressional investigations really were serious and thorough. Why did they fail to interview dozens of key State Department witnesses, including agents on the ground who experienced the attacks firsthand? Just last month, 3 years after Benghazi, top aides finally returned documents to the State Department. A month ago, this committee received 1,500 new pages of Secretary Clinton's emails related to Libya and Benghazi, 3 years after the attacks. And a little over 2 weeks ago, this committee received nearly 1,400 pages of Ambassador Stevens' emails, 3 years after the attacks. It is impossible to conduct a serious, fact-centric investigation without access to the documents from the former Secretary of State, the ambassador who knew more about Libya than anyone else, and testimony from witnesses who survived the attacks. Madam Secretary, I understand there are people, frankly, in both parties who have suggested that this investigation is about you. Let me assure you it is not, and let me assure you why it is not. This investigation is about 4 people who were killed representing our country on foreign soil. It is about what happened before, during, and after the attacks that killed them. It is about what this country owes to those who risk their lives to serve it. And it is about the fundamental obligation of government to tell the truth, always, to the people that it purports to represent. Madam Secretary, not a single member of this committee signed up to investigate you or your email. We signed up to investigate and therefore honor the lives of 4 people that we sent into a dangerous country to represent us, and to do everything we can to prevent it from happening to others. Our committee has interviewed 100 witnesses. Not a single one of them has been named Clinton until today. You were the Secretary of State for this country at all relevant times. So, of course, the committee is going to want to talk to you. You are an important witness. You are one important witness among 100 important witnesses. And I do understand you wanted to come sooner than today, so let me be clear why that did not happen. You had an unusual email arrangement, which meant the State Department could not produce your emails to us. You made exclusive use of personal email and a personal server. And when you left the State Department, you kept the public record to yourself for almost 2 years.
Because even today, there are questions being raised. Now, we have no doubt they were terrorists, they were militants, they attacked us, they killed our people. But what was going on and why they were doing what they were doing
Again, we were misled that there was supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easily ascertained that was not the fact. And the American people could have known that within days, and they didn't know that.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make? 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 What difference at does it make? What difference what difference at this point does it make? It is what difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make?
point does it make?
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on right now?
They're not doing anything. They just
For what?
No reason.
Well, they're doing their
You didn't know anything. Look, this guy has all his drugs on him, and you're fucking attacking my friends.
What did I do, man? What did I do?
Where are you from? This fucking.
What did I do?
Nothing. He didn't do nothing. He's fucking black.
You didn't do anything, man. Please help me. What did I do?
What are y'all gonna do with him?
Take him to jail.
For what? What did he do? What crime did he do? We asked you guys. You said, do we go? I asked you.
Is that when you were jumping on the barricade over there? I'm handcuffed already. Y'all can get y'all's knees off me.
Yes, we told you to stop, which y'all did. Hey, back up.
That's okay.
Back up.
I don't mind. I'm not going around you, man.
Lizzie! No! Leave him alone!
Back up or you're going to jail.
I don't give a fuck, man.
What are y'all doing this for?
Get back.
Stop!
Get back. Get back.
I'm not resisting at all. What the fuck do you mean?
Dude, Lindsay.
I'm not resisting.
What the fuck is happening? We're not even.
Why not? Why not, sir? Why not?
Nobody's getting up until everybody's in cuffs.
What do you mean? I'm already in cuffs. You can pick me up. What did I do? Pick me up, please. Can you please pick me up? Can you please pick me up? Can you pick me up, please?
Stay back.
Okay, help me.
Sir, I really don't.
And what am I being like? What the fuck? No. Where's my shoe at? I'm not going nowhere without my shoe. I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was use my voice. All I did was use my voice. And y'all